Chapter 3265. Yu Ming was extremely overbearing and arrogant. His words were filled with strong possessiveness as if Ji Feishuan was his personal item. He did not even put Ling Xiao in his eyes. The feather tribe ladies behind Ji Feishuan, as well as the old goat and Kuan-peng, were all enraged. Ling Xiao's eyes turned icy cold in an instant. "Kill me? Just you?" Ling Xiao said indifferently as he slowly raised his head to stare at Yu Ming. There was a sharp light in his eyes as his body exuded an extremely terrifying aura. "Yu Ming, aren't you afraid of being abandoned by the heavenly axiom and losing the right to fight for the opportunity to become an emperor?" Ji Feishuan stared at Yu Ming and said coldly. Her face was filled with anger. Ever since Yu Ming saw her, he was like a dogskin plaster. His words were as if he had already treated Ji Feishuan as his woman. Although Ji Feishuan was furious, she knew how powerful Yu Ming was. Now that the realm of nothingness was about to open, she did not want to have a conflict with Yu Ming here. Everyone's expression was also incomparably strange, and they even felt that it was somewhat inexplicable. They did not expect Yu Ming and Ling Xiao to be at loggerheads because of Ji Feishuan. Were these peerless sky prides not determined and indomitable? Were they not willing to give up everything in order to become an emperor? Now they were like commoners who started to fight for a woman's affection? Even though Ji Feishuan was extremely beautiful and peerless in her generation, it was still incomparable to the opportunity to become an emperor, right? Moreover, Ji Feishuan did not seem to have any feelings for Yu Ming. Abandoned by the heavenly axiom? Ha ha, what a joke. I, Yu Ming, am destined to control the heavenly axiom in the future and become an invincible emperor. How dare the heavenly axiom abandon me? You're my woman. If I say so, then so be it. No one can change that. Since you want to protect this brat, then I'll kill him." Yu Ming laughed out loud. However, his laughter was filled with a cold aura as his eyes were filled with monstrous killing intent. Rumble. Boundless reincarnation light bloomed around Yu Ming as he threw a punch at Ling Xiao. The fierce and overbearing punch set off a monstrous gale accompanied by blazing lightning. It was as if it wanted to crush everything into dust. What? He actually dared to attack. Everyone was stunned. Even Ling Xiao and Ji Feishuan did not expect Yu Ming to be so arrogant and overbearing. He dared to attack before entering the realm of nothingness. One had to know that the realm of nothingness was, in a sense, condensed from the power of the heavenly Tao. The opportunity to become an emperor was also related to the heavenly Tao. Making a move here would easily cause the heavenly Tao to counterattack. He might even be abandoned by the heavenly Tao and have no chance of becoming an emperor. It was impossible for Netherworld to not know all of this, but he still made a move. Rumble. Ling Xiao's gaze instantly became extremely sharp. His blood and qi rose around him, and a vast and majestic physical strength erupted. He was like a prehistoric giant beast, and similarly, he threw a punch at Yu Ming from the air. Two unparalleled fist imprints instantly collided in the void. Endless source energy intertwined. The storm shook violently and was quickly annihilated. However, at the same time, it spread out in all directions. The aura was terrifying to the extreme. With a muffled sound, Ling Xiao and Yu Ming's bodies shook. Ling Xiao's figure did not change, but Yu Ming retreated a few steps. "You really condensed a physical body and a Tao spirit." Yu Ming's eyes revealed a trace of surprise when he saw the blood-red figure flash behind Ling Xiao. "Yu Ming, if you want to die, I can fulfill your wish right now." Ji Feishuan's eyes revealed a cold murderous intent as she stared at Yu Ming. Terrifying life and death energy spread out from her body. She stood side by side with Ling Xiao, and her aura was extremely terrifying. It was as if she was going to launch a shocking attack at Yu Ming with Ling Xiao at any time. The three peerless sky prides on the Tao validation list are going to fight here? Everyone was extremely shocked, and their faces were filled with nervousness. They were afraid that if Ling Xiao and the other two were to fight here, the heavenly Tao's counterattack would affect them. If it caused them to be abandoned by the heavenly Tao, and unable to enter the realm of nothingness to compete for the opportunity to become an emperor, it would be terrible. "My three friends, this is not the place for a battle. Why don't you give me some face and stop fighting for the time being?" At this moment, an indifferent and faintly discernible voice sounded. In the distance, Celestial light was dazzling. A piece of primal chaos rose up and enveloped a heroic young man. He walked through the air as if he was the pride of the heavens. In an instant he stole everyone's attention and became the focus of heaven and earth. He looked perfect and flawless. His entire body was shrouded in chaotic immortal light, and his eyes were bright and dazzling. He exuded a divine aura. Although he didn't release his cultivation, there was an invincible aura that permeated the air. It made people feel as if an immortal emperor was out on a patrol, suppressing the heavens. The ninth prince. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed sharply. He immediately recognized the young man's identity. He was the ninth prince of the immortal world, the #1 sky pride of the immortal world. Amitba, I'm afraid the three of you are going against the harmony of the heavens by acting rashly here. Why don't the three of you enter the realm of nothingness before settling this grudge? Those who affect the opening of the realm of nothingness will all die. As soon as the ninth prince finished speaking, two more voices sounded. One was gentle and calm, giving people a feeling of being bathed in the spring breeze. Dazzling Buddhist light shrouded the area, emitting an eternal glow. A handsome monk in a white monk's robe and holding a bamboo cane walked over. He was barefoot, and every step he took created lotuses. It was as if the murderous aura between the heavens and the earth had dissipated. The other voice was domineering and sharp, like the voice of a heavenly emperor. His words caused the void to tremble violently. The origin of the great Tao was surging violently. In the vast and mysterious river of destiny, a middle-aged man with a dignified face walked over. His aura was illusory, and chaotic immortal light rose. It was as if he could push the sun, the moon, and the stars in his path. He had an unstoppable aura that could suppress all eternity. His body emitted a majestic emperor's aura that suppressed the Wuji realm, causing everyone to tremble violently. They could vaguely see a supreme emperor walking toward them, and they could not help but kneel down to worship him. It's the Lord of Karma Emperor City, Tathagata, and the Lord of Destiny Emperor City, Sakra, someone exclaimed in a trembling voice. The peerless geniuses of the 4 great imperial cities had all arrived. The Lord of Karma Emperor City, Tathagata, was born in the ancient Buddha era. He had reached the peak of the Eternal Emperor Road 7 times. His strength was unfathomable. The Lord of Destiny Emperor City, Sakra, was the #1 peerless genius on the Tao affirmation list. He was a 10 Ultimates king, and was known as a supreme figure who could kill emperors. The 4 peerless geniuses were usually elusive. They had been cultivating in seclusion in the imperial city. Now they had finally gathered. The surrounding trial takers were all excited and emotional. Their eyes were filled with awe. Since the 3 of you have spoken, I will spare this kid's life for now. Yuming glanced at Ling Xiao indifferently and sneered. Ling Xiao looked deeply at Yuming. His eyes were incomparably calm, and he did not say anything. He even stopped the old goat and the others. Being ranked 4th on the Tao affirmation list, the Lord of Reincarnation Imperial City, and a 6 Ultimates king, Yuming was definitely not an impulsive fool. However, Yuming had put on an arrogant look and even thought that Ji Feishuan was his. He had even brazenly attacked Ling Xiao. This was not normal in itself. Therefore, Ling Xiao had reason to suspect that Yuming was faking it. What's his purpose? Is he testing my strength? Or does he have ulterior motives towards Ji Feishuan? Or perhaps both? Ling Xiao thought to himself as a strange light flashed in his eyes. He was not angered by Yuming. He had remained clear-headed and calm. When he exchanged blows with Yuming, Yuming was testing his cultivation. Wasn't he testing Yuming as well? The 9th prince, Tathagata, and Sakra did not say anything when they saw that Yuming had stopped attacking. They all looked at Ling Xiao. The only difference was that the 9th prince looked at Ling Xiao with a calm gaze and nodded slightly. Tathagata looked at Ling Xiao with a smile, while Sakra looked at him with a calm gaze. It was as if he was looking at a weak ant. There were no fluctuations in his emotions. Ling Xiao, Yuming and Sakra are not good people. After entering the realm of nothingness, be careful of those 2 bastards. The old goat transmitted his voice to Ling Xiao. I understand. Ling Xiao nodded faintly and said, not to mention Yuming and Sakra, even the 9th prince and Tathagata might look calm on the surface. However, once they entered the realm of nothingness and faced the emperor's opportunity, they would instantly become great enemies. The surrounding trial challengers had different expressions. There were many who were trying to fish in troubled waters, but there were also many trial challengers who concealed their auras and were powerful. Ling Xiao did not believe that the people on the path confirmation list included all the geniuses and monstrous geniuses. There were probably many geniuses who kept a low profile but were incomparably powerful. Not to mention, there were also the aboriginals. Although they did not reveal their strength, once they encountered the emperor's opportunity, they would be even more ferocious than the trial challengers. Rumble. The huge and dazzling light gate was intertwined with vast origin energy and filled with powerful spatial fluctuations. This light gate was also known as the Gate of Nothingness. Everyone was waiting for the Gate of Nothingness to stabilize completely. Buzz. Not long after, a clear buzzing sound was heard. A mysterious fluctuation spread out in all directions, and the Gate of Nothingness stabilized completely. The realm of nothingness has opened. Let's go. Yuming glanced at Ling Xiao and Ji Feishuan indifferently. Then he led his followers and instantly turned into a stream of light, and swept into the light gate. The ninth prince, Tathagata, Sakura and many other geniuses entered the Gate of Nothingness one after another. The realm of nothingness is mysterious and unpredictable. There are many dangers. Everyone follow me closely. Be careful not to be teleported to other places by the heavenly energy. Ling Xiao said slowly. Then the yin-yang great Tao origin surged and instantly enveloped everyone. Then they all flew into the Gate of Nothingness. Only the Imperial City Master could use the great Tao origin energy to protect some of the people entering the Gate of Nothingness. As for the other trial challengers, they would probably be teleported randomly. No one knew where they would appear. Boom. After entering the Gate of Nothingness, Ling Xiao felt his entire body tremble. Even his indestructible primordial spirit was trembling slightly. Ripples appeared around him like water waves, and the light was extremely bright. That feeling was like a fish in the sea that had left the sea for the first time. It was like jumping into the vast sky and arriving at a new world. However, before Ling Xiao could carefully experience it, the light in front of him was dazzling. The scene changed, and he instantly appeared in an unfamiliar and ancient space. Chaotic mist lingered around him. It was a chaotic space. Vaguely there were mountains, rivers, plants and spirits in the distance. It was like a real world. However, Ling Xiao could tell at a glance that those scenes were all formed from chaos, and contained the mysterious chaotic energy. Above his head was a piece of nothingness. Time and space seemed to have completely solidified here. Is this the end of the Eternal Emperor Road? The old goat's body trembled. His eyes were filled with incomparable shock. If this is the end of the Eternal Emperor Road, I'm afraid it's also the end of the myriad worlds. This is a chaotic space. Everywhere is nothingness. Taoist Wuliang said slowly. His eyes were also filled with curiosity. This was the realm of nothingness. Standing in the realm of nothingness, everyone felt extremely strange. If it weren't for the fact that they could still sense the power of the way of the heavens and the surging chaos around them, they would have almost involuntarily wanted to fly up into the sky and merge with the nothingness. However, the nothingness above their heads clearly posed a fatal threat to them. Get lost. I found this chaos fruit first. If you're not afraid of death, come at me. Kill. Snatch the chaos fruit for me. Not far away, an intense battle broke out. It was the trial taker who had entered the realm of nothingness first. He found a chaos fruit, and it immediately aroused the greed of the surrounding trial takers. Then an intense battle broke out. After all, some of the treasures in the realm of nothingness were extremely precious. It was impossible to find them in the myriad worlds. It could be a fruit that could increase one's cultivation by swallowing it. It could be a supreme metal that could be used to forge an ultimate emperor weapon. It could also be a chaotic item that could increase one's primordial spirit and origin. In any case, as long as it could be found in the realm of nothingness, it would definitely be extraordinary. Of course, the most precious thing in the realm of nothingness was the opportunity to become an emperor. Everyone follow me. Don't pay too much attention to ordinary treasures. If there are era stones, we can collect some. However, the most important thing is the opportunity to become an emperor. If we find the opportunity to become an emperor, we naturally won't be short of era stones, Ling Xiao said calmly. Era stones, as the name suggested, were treasures that were nurtured over a long period of time. They were extremely precious. Although there were era stones in the myriad worlds, they were extremely rare. They were usually born during the great calamity of an era. The place where era stones were produced was the realm of nothingness. Although era stones were precious, they only had one use, which was to allow living beings to seal themselves. However, it was only effective for living beings below the great emperor realm. Those ancient sky prides had used era stones to seal themselves, so that they could survive the great calamity of an era, and live until today. Chapter 3266. The Realm of Nothingness. Yin and Yang Qi intertwined above Ling Xiao's head, containing a vast amount of great Tao energy. Tao rhymes filled the air, making him look mysterious. This was the power of the Yin and Yang Great Tao. It allowed Ling Xiao to sense the existence of the opportunity to become an emperor. However, Ling Xiao did not sense anything in the realm of nothingness. The opportunity to become an emperor had not appeared yet. However, the realm of nothingness was an extremely strange space. It was the intersection and end point of the heavenly way. It was also the boundary of the heavenly way's power. Other than the opportunity to become an emperor, there were various treasures and even powerful Tao inheritances. In the Eternal Emperor's Road, most of the peerless sky prides who had reached the peak and obtained the opportunity to become an emperor. However, others relied on various opportunities to break through their realms and become unparalleled emperors. What a strange space, the old goat said curiously. Above his head was the realm of nothingness, surrounded by endless chaos. However, in the chaos, there were various strange and unpredictable scenes. The old goat saw mountains rising in the distance. However, in an instant, they turned into a vast ocean. Further away, in the chaos, there seemed to be small worlds that were formed. They intertwined with each other like floating bubbles. They looked crystal clear and very strange. Here, without the suppression of the heavenly way's power, the rules and order have become chaotic. Anything can happen here. Taoist Wuliang said slowly. Let's go. Ling Xiao nodded and said. There was a glimmer of light in his eyes. The Yin and Yang Qi intertwined above his head, containing a vast amount of Yin and Yang Great Tao energy. Suddenly, he felt a mysterious force in the distance that resonated and shook him. There must be treasures with Yin and Yang attributes there. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Ling Xiao rode on the white dragon horse with Kuanpeng, the old goat, Taoist Wuliang, and Yi Liangchen behind him. Zhao Ritian, Ling Xiao, and Duge Qiubai had their own paths to walk. They did not follow Ling Xiao into the realm of nothingness. Ling Xiao was not worried about anything. When the opportunity to become an emperor appeared, they would naturally meet. Now it wasn't just Ling Xiao. The lords of the 12 imperial cities were also searching for all sorts of treasures in the realm of nothingness. After all, after an era, the realm of nothingness could be said to be filled with treasures of heaven and earth. The white dragon horse had extreme speed and could move the heavens. It was not inferior to the Kuanpeng. They did not take long before they stopped in front of a huge mountain. The mountain in front of him seemed to be billions of feet tall. It was sent into the endless void, surrounded by majestic primal chaos chi. It was very mysterious. However, this mountain seemed to have gained sentience as it trembled violently. In an instant, it turned into a small mound hundreds of feet tall in front of Ling Xiao and the others. The mysterious water vapor spread out, and the small mound quickly turned into a vast ocean. Here, the 5 elements changed freely, and all kinds of substances changed with each other, making people click their tongues in wonder. In the beginning, the old goat and the others were very curious, but as they walked along, they were already used to it. Their eyes were attracted by an ancient tree in front of them. It was an ancient tree that was 70 to 80 feet tall. Its branches and leaves were lush, and it emitted a strong vitality. However, there were dozens of fruits on it, all of which were emitting mysterious yin-yang divine light. They were black and white, and there was a taiji diagram vaguely appearing. It was very strange. The yin-yang creation fruit can adjust yin and yang, purify the origin, and perfect the physical body. If it is combined with other origin source sacred herbs, it can be refined into the yin-yang creation pill. Ling Zhao's eyes lit up slightly as he said with a smile. The yin-yang creation fruit was an origin source sacred herb, and it was extremely precious. It had long been extinct in the universe. It was very beneficial for Imperial Emperor experts to improve their cultivation. Other than Ling Xiao, who had broken through to the 9th heaven of Imperial Emperor realm, the few of them were still at the 7th or 8th heaven of Imperial Emperor realm. The yin-yang creation fruit was just right for them. It's not easy to refine the yin-yang creation pill. We still need the God Burial Flower and the Immortal Emperor Grass. If we can refine the yin-yang creation pill, it will be very easy for our cultivation to break through to the 9th heaven of Imperial Emperor realm. Taoist Wuliang nodded with a smile as he said. He was a Pildao Grandmaster, and it was not an exaggeration to call him a Pildao Emperor. Refining the yin-yang creation pill was not difficult for him. In the past, he just lacked the materials. The God Burial Flower and the Immortal Emperor Grass? These two origin source sacred herbs aren't that easy to obtain. The God Burial Flower grows in a land of evil, and the Immortal Emperor Grass must absorb a large amount of immortal material. It's probably very difficult to gather them in the realm of nothingness. Why don't you just consume them directly? Although the effect is a little weaker, it can still improve your cultivation. Ling Xiao said slowly. That's the only way. A trace of pity appeared in the old goat's eyes. Who's there? Get out here. Ling Zhao's eyes suddenly flashed sharply as he stared at the chaotic void behind the ancient tree, and then he punched out. Crack! His fist intent was unparalleled. The fierce and domineering punch broke through the layers of chaos, as if it had set off a strong wind. Immediately an old figure appeared. The old figure's expression changed as he took Ling Zhao's punch head-on. His body trembled violently as he was sent flying. Young Master Ling Xiao, please wait. I'm Zhou Yuan, and I've met you in the Heaven Dao Pavilion before. The old figure said hurriedly as he spat out a mouthful of blood. Zhou Yuan. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed. He immediately recognized that the white-haired old man was Zhou Yuan. However, origin energy surged around Zhou Yuan as he protected a beautiful woman in a violet dress. The woman was pale white as well, and her gaze towards Ling Xiao was filled with fear. That's me. Young Master Ling Xiao, we've just arrived. We only hid behind the yin-yang creation fruit because we sensed a strong aura approaching. We don't have any ill intentions. Please forgive us. Zhou Yuan cupped his fists at Ling Xiao and said with a bitter smile. He was also secretly shocked in his heart. Ling Zhao's casual punch just now actually caused him to be unable to block it and be injured by the fist intent. Ling Xiao was indeed a peerless genius who could kill Divine King Ju Wu. After witnessing Ling Zhao's true strength, Zhou Yuan's heart also became more fervent. So it's Pavilion Master Zhou. I thought you were some rascal. Please forgive me. Pavilion Master Zhou, are you here for the yin-yang creation fruit as well? Ling Xiao smiled faintly. Zhou Yuan, the leader of the Heaven Dao Pavilion, had given Ling Xiao 100 origin source Dao fruits in order to avenge him by killing Divine King Ju Wu. It was considered a favor to Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao had fulfilled his promise with Zhou Yuan by killing Divine King Ju Wu. Furthermore, Ling Xiao realized that Zhou Yuan's injuries had healed completely. His cultivation had returned to the 9th heaven of the Imperial Emperor state. Zhou Yuan's foundation was impressive to be able to heal such a Dao injury. Although these natives were cursed by the Heaven Dao and would never be able to break through to the Great Emperor state, they had been in the Eternal Emperor's road for so many years. Their foundation was far beyond the cultivators. Ling Xiao had never underestimated these natives. It's all right. The yin-yang creation fruit is useless to us. Please do as you wish, young Master Ling Xiao. Furthermore, this is my granddaughter, Zhou Zisu. If young Master Ling Xiao needs the God-burying flower and the Immortal Emperor Grass to refine the yin-yang creation pill, we know where to find them. Zhou Yuan smiled faintly. Greetings, young Master Ling Xiao. Zhou Zisu glanced at Ling Xiao and bowed respectfully. Pavilion Master Zhou, do you know where to find the God-burying flower and the Immortal Emperor Grass? What a coincidence. However, there's no free lunch in this world. What do you want from me? Ling Xiao said with a faint smile. He did not pretend to be polite and said it directly. Although the god-burying flower and the immortal emperor grass were expensive, Ling Xiao was more concerned about Zhou Yuan's motive. Furthermore, Zhou Zixu, Zhou Yuan's granddaughter, had reached the 8th heaven of the imperial emperor state. Ling Xiao did not believe that Zhou Yuan was not interested in the yin-yang creation fruit. Young Master Ling Xiao, you're wise. I do have something that I need your help with. Zhou Yuan said with a smile. He did not try to hide anything. What is it? Ling Xiao asked faintly. Young Master Ling Xiao, my Zhou clan has been one of the 12 ancient clans ever since we moved into Eternal Emperor Road during the Ancient Age. We have always been in charge of Yin-Yang Imperial City. However, in the past few eras, my Zhou clan has been on the decline. The entire Yin-Yang Imperial City has fallen into a state of chaos because my Zhou clan's supreme treasure, the Yin-Yang Pearl, was lost in the realm of nothingness. I would like to ask young Master Ling Xiao to help me find the Yin-Yang Pearl. I will tell young Master Ling Xiao the whereabouts of the god-burying flower and the immortal emperor grass. I will also give young Master Ling Xiao a great opportunity that will allow you to obtain thousands of origin Dao fruits. Zhou Yuan said with a smile, his eyes filled with anticipation. Yin-Yang Pearl. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he looked deeply at Zhou Yuan and asked, if even Pavilion Master Zhou does not know where the Yin-Yang Pearl is, how can I find it? Young Master Ling Xiao, don't worry. I already know the whereabouts of the Yin-Yang Pearl. However, the location of the Yin-Yang Pearl is sealed by the heavenly energy and is suppressed by the Supreme Emperor Ray. It is also guarded by a powerful ancient beast. I cannot retrieve the Yin-Yang Pearl at all, so I can only ask young Master Ling Xiao for help. I believe that with young Master Ling Xiao's incredible combat strength, retrieving the Yin-Yang Pearl will be a piece of cake. Zhou Yuan smiled bitterly. All right. I agree. Where are the god-burying flower and the immortal emperor grass? And the great opportunity that will allow me to obtain thousands of origin Dao fruits? Ling Xiao stared at Zhou Yuan and asked. Zhou Yuan seemed to understand Ling Xiao's current needs very well. The god-burying flower and the immortal emperor grass were the origin source sacred herbs used to refine the yin-yang creation pill. They were not of much help to Ling Xiao, but the thousands of origin Dao fruits were tempting. Young Master Ling Xiao, the Yin-Yang Pearl's location is where the Yin-Yang Great Dao origin is gathered. Not only is there an extreme Yin divine aura, but there is also an extreme Yang divine aura. The extreme Yin divine aura breeds the god-burying flower, while the extreme Yang divine aura breeds the immortal emperor grass. The thousands of origin Dao fruits that I mentioned are also there. Zhou Yuan said seriously. So you want to gain something without risking anything? The white dragon horse glanced at Zhou Yuan and asked. Hehe, isn't that so? The treasures that I promised cannot be fulfilled. In other words, if we can't find the Yin-Yang Pearl, we will have made a wasted trip. Kuan-Peng snickered. Zhou Yuan, can't you give us some practical benefits? My brother, Ling Xiao, is not someone that anyone can invite. Even the geniuses from the 4 imperial cities might not be a match for him. Yi Liangchen said with a proud smile. They could see that Zhou Yuan had nothing in his hands. He was just making empty promises to get Ling Xiao to retrieve the Yin-Yang Pearl for him. An awkward expression appeared on Zhou Yuan's face. Zhou Zixu was also a little silent and did not argue with him. Ling Xiao pondered for a moment and looked at Zhou Yuan and Zhou Zixu. All right. Since Pavilion Master Zhou gave me the origin Dao fruit, I will believe you this time. Pavilion Master Zhou, please lead the way. Let's go find the Yin-Yang Pearl. Really? Zhou Yuan almost thought that Ling Xiao would reject him. He was pleasantly surprised. Thank you, young Master Ling Xiao. Our Zhou clan will never forget young Master Ling Xiao's kindness. Young Master, please follow me. Zhou Yuan and Zhou Zixu looked at each other, and their eyes were filled with excitement. The two of them immediately stood up and led the way. Ling Xiao asked the old goat to pluck the yin-yang creation fruits. He then followed behind Zhou Yuan and flew into the distance. Ling Xiao, be careful. The old goat sent a voice transmission to Ling Xiao. Don't worry. They shouldn't be hostile. If we can really find the god-burying flower and the immortal emperor herb, and then obtain enough origin Dao fruits, our cultivation will skyrocket. When the time comes to compete for the opportunity to become a monarch, we will have a better chance. Ling Xiao said with a voice transmission. There was a glimmer of light in his eyes. Now that he had gathered all the origin Dao fruits, he walked the path of 10,000 Daos as one. His cultivation of the heart Dao was almost complete. In addition to the power of the destiny Dao, he could vaguely see the good and evil intentions of others. He could predict the impending danger. Ling Xiao did not sense any evil intentions from Zhou Yuan and Zhou Zixu, so he decided to take a look. After all, it was extremely rare for Ling Xiao to obtain thousands of origin Dao fruits. Buzz. There was an ancient yin-yang taiji diagram in Zhou Yuan's palm. The yin and yang qi flowed on it. There was a groove in the middle that vaguely looked like a pearl. The yin and yang qi flowed on the taiji diagram. It flickered with a flickering light and vaguely pointed to a direction in front. This is the taiji diagram where the yin-yang pearl is placed. It can sense the position of the yin-yang pearl. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to sense the position of the yin-yang pearl in the realm of nothingness. Zhou Yuan explained to Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao nodded indifferently. He didn't say anything, but he could sense that the chaotic mist before him was filled with a mysterious aura of yin and yang. It grew thicker and thicker, and it even resonated with the great way of yin and yang above his head. Chapter 3267. Ling Xiao has entered the realm of nothingness. Should we make a move? The Tribulation Master has said to keep an eye on him. Find an opportunity to kill him in one blow, but the three of us may not be able to kill him. The Tribulation Master will make a move at the crucial moment. Then when should we make a move? Now is not a good time. That Yu Ming has a deep enmity towards Ling Xiao. Perhaps we can use Yu Ming to attack Ling Xiao and reap the benefits. Agreed. In the endless void, there were three divine consciousnesses that exuded an ethereal aura, as if they were one with the void and were not affected by it at all. The three divine consciousnesses were extremely powerful. As they conversed with each other, they could clearly see the movements of Ling Xiao and the others below. There was a glimmer of light in Ling Xiao's eyes. He vaguely felt some hostility and killing intent, as well as a feeling of being spied on. Although it was very faint, he knew that it was not an illusion. If it's not Zhou Yuan and Zhou Zixu, then who is it? Could it be Yu Ming? Ling Xiao thought to himself. The hostility was very far away from him. If it were other emperors, they would not be able to sense it at all. However, Ling Xiao felt it very clearly and was extremely alert. The lords of the 12 imperial cities were protected by 12 great Dao origins. Even if they entered the realm of nothingness, they would be separated into different regions. Could it be that Yu Ming had already found him so quickly? Ling Xiao thought to himself, but he did not show it on his face. He only raised his guard and continued to follow Zhou Yuan forward. Buzz. The taiji diagram in Zhou Yuan's hand suddenly emitted a bright light. Two streams of yin and yang qi intertwined, vibrating violently and buzzing. The clouds in front of them were ethereal and illusory, and they swiftly parted to the sides. Similarly, two streams of yin and yang qi intertwined together and shot into the sky like smoke signals. They towered into the void, emitting an incomparably vast and majestic aura. Found it. It's over there. Zhou Yuan's eyes were filled with joy. He pointed at the two yin and yang light pillars in front of him and quickly rushed forward. Ling Xiao and the rest naturally followed after him. Rumble. After passing through the cloud-shrouded area, his eyes suddenly opened up. A vast wasteland appeared. There were two huge abyssal caverns on the ground, and the two yin and yang beams of light were gushing out from the abyssal caverns. The two abyssal caves were very mysterious. One of them was shrouded in black baleful yin qi, and there was a chilly wind whistling. That kind of baleful yin qi was strange and mysterious, as if it could freeze everything. The other one emitted a blazing light, as hot as the sun. The area covered by the supreme young godly gang turned into some kind of transparent crystal, flowing with mysterious flames. Even the void was slightly distorted. It is indeed the supreme yin divine wind and supreme yang divine wind. There must be God-burying flower and immortal emperor grass there. Old man, you didn't lie to us. Kuan Peng and the white dragon horse looked at each other and said excitedly. Places where the extreme Yin divine aura and extreme Yang divine aura appeared were Yin Yang treasured lands, containing the source of the great Tao of Yin and Yang. There would definitely be God-burying flowers and immortal emperor grass. Seeing that Kuan Peng and the white dragon horse were eager to try, Zhou Yuan quickly stopped them. The two of you please wait. The Supreme Yin divine aura and Supreme Yang divine wind have formed a Supreme Emperor array, and it is a flawless Emperor array. Even a great emperor could be trapped in it, and an imperial emperor would definitely die if he enters it. Pavilion Master Zhou, who set up this emperor array? Ling Xiao looked at Zhou Yuan indifferently and asked calmly. Zhou Yuan's heart skipped a beat, and he immediately laughed bitterly. Indeed, I can't hide anything from young Master Ling Xiao. A few eras ago, the peerless genius of our Zhou clan, Zhou Rulong, entered the Void Realm to find an opportunity to become an emperor. In the end, he offended a demonic genius, and was trapped in the Supreme Emperor array. He was trapped here and the Yin Yang Pearl was also lost in it. An imperial emperor who could set up a flawless emperor array? I'm afraid it wouldn't be an exaggeration to call him a formation emperor, right? The old goat sighed softly, and there was a trace of yearning in his eyes. He also had the Supreme Array Dao talent, but he was still unable to set up a flawless emperor array. He could only set up a few flawed emperor arrays. The old goat knew better than anyone how terrifying a person who could set up a flawless emperor array was. Such a person, even if he had not become an emperor, was comparable to a supreme emperor. Old goat, can you break the array? Ling Xiao looked at the old goat and asked. Among the group, the old goat was the one with the highest attainment in array Dao. Let me try first. I'm not confident. The old goat shook his head. Facing the flawless emperor array, the old goat's face turned solemn, as if he was facing a great enemy. I'll protect you. The rest of you wait outside, don't come in. Ling Xiao said indifferently, and then gave Daoist Wuliang a look. Daoist Wuliang nodded his head. He understood Ling Xiao's meaning. Ling Xiao and the old goat entered the array while they stayed outside. The most important thing was to watch Zhou Yuan and Zhou Zixu to prevent any accidents from happening. I'll have to trouble young Master Ling Xiao for everything. Zhou Yuan cupped his fists at Ling Xiao. Pavilion Master Zhou, you don't have to be so courteous. We're just taking what we need. Ling Xiao nodded his head indifferently. Buzz. The old goat's body shone brightly, and an ancient array disk shot up into the sky, exuding a vast aura that could devour the heavens and earth. It spun, and dazzling rays of light shrouded him and Ling Xiao. The devouring array disk was said to be the supreme Dao Emperor weapon passed down by the Taotai ancestor. It was the old goat's natal treasure. It was because of the devouring array disk that the old goat had the confidence to break into the flawless Emperor array. With Ling Xiao protecting him, he did not have to worry about the consequences. Rumble. Ling Xiao and the old goat stepped into the array. Instantly, the calm wilderness erupted like a volcano, and dazzling rays of light bloomed. The Yin-Yang divine light intertwined, and the Supreme Yang and Supreme Yin auras flowed. In an instant, the entire area was shrouded, and an ancient and terrifying murderous intent locked onto Ling Xiao and the old goat. In an instant, only Ling Xiao and the old goat were left in the wilderness, and the others had all disappeared. Rumble. In front of them, two vast yin-yang light pillars intertwined, and an extremely terrifying black ocean rose. It contained an aura that could destroy everything, and it surged towards Ling Xiao and the old goat. Blood chi shot up into the sky, and a murderous aura rose. At the same time, it was accompanied by ghostly wails and howls. It was like the netherworld, and it exuded a deep and despairing aura. Oh no! This is the yin-yang purgatory array. It uses the yin-yang qi to form a netherworld purgatory, and it buries all life. It is the purest killing array, and it can form an immortal hell beast according to the cultivation of the person who enters the array. The old goat's face changed, and he seemed to have thought of something, and he became extremely anxious. Hell beast. Ling Xiao's eyes shone brightly. Almost as soon as the old goat finished speaking, there was a loud roar in the surroundings, and a huge black beast that was enveloped in the flames of hell appeared. Its body was covered with sharp bone spikes, and the ghost fire in its eyes was crazy and cruel. as if it could tear everything apart. Its aura had reached the 9th heaven of the Imperial Emperor realm. Most importantly, as the Netherworld Sea surged over, more and more hell beasts appeared in the Netherworld Sea. They were so densely packed that there were at least a few hundred of them. It was a sight that made one's scalp tingle. Hundreds of hell beasts were equivalent to hundreds of 9th heaven of the Imperial Emperor realm experts. Most importantly, in the Yin-Yang Purgatory array, the hell beasts were immortal, and they were so powerful that it made one feel despair. Now that things have come to this, we can only fight. I will kill these hell beasts, and you will look for an opportunity to break the array. Ling Zhao's eyes surged with a monstrous battle intent, and the light around him was dazzling. In an instant, the chaotic light surged out, and his body exuded an invincible aura. Behind Ling Xiao, his blood-red physical body and doctrine spirit appeared, and it made Ling Zhao's aura as strong as the sun. Facing hundreds of hell beasts, Ling Xiao also felt great pressure, but he had no intention of retreating. Instead, he exploded with a shocking battle intent. Great! Fortunately, the Yin-Yang Purgatory array condenses the hell beasts according to the cultivation of the person who enters the array. It has not fully awakened yet. Otherwise, if hundreds of great emperor-level hell beasts appear, we will all die here. You will block the hell beasts, and my devouring array disc can block the destructive light around us. Today we will fight this Yin-Yang Purgatory array. The old goat's eyes also revealed a trace of madness as he roared. Kill! Ling Xiao roared and took the lead to charge out. He punched across the void, and the chaotic chi surged out, turning into an unparalleled chaotic fist print, and blasted it towards a hell beast. At this moment, Ling Zhao's blood was surging, and his body was like a furnace, releasing endless vitality. Immediately, the hell beasts pounced on Ling Xiao as though they had seen the most delicious food. Ling Xiao could clearly feel that the hell beasts were covered in hellfire, and their auras were powerful and terrifying. Although they were condensed by the array, they did not seem like illusory living beings, and they were extremely real. Gotcha. After Ling Xiao condensed his mortal body and battle spirit, his mortal body had broken through the limits of its limits. Now he possessed extreme speed and strength. In the blink of an eye, his fist smashed into a hell beast, causing it to fiercely tremble. The sharp bone spikes on its body instantly burst apart. Unparalleled divine power burst out, and the hell beast was directly blown apart by Ling Zhao's punch. A hell beast that was comparable to a 9th heaven imperial emperor was killed by Ling Xiao just like that. Rumble. Ling Zhao's face was extremely cold, and he was like a primitive giant beast, charging forward with monstrous momentum, and instantly rushed into the group of hell beasts. The unparalleled chaotic fist print was huge, and it contained a domineering power. Every punch was able to take the life of a hell beast. Ling Zhao's cultivation had broken through to the 9th heaven imperial emperor realm, and his body had merged with 1,600 origin Dao fruits. His physical body had been refined to the extreme, and he had condensed the physical body Dao spirit. Even Ling Xiao himself did not know how powerful he was now. Although these hell beasts in front of him had the combat strength of a 9th heaven imperial emperor realm expert, none of them were a match for Ling Xiao, and they were all blown apart by him. However, in the Yin-Yang Purgatory formation, the hell beasts had an undying body. Even if they were blown apart by Ling Xiao, they quickly condensed their bodies, and then pounced on Ling Xiao without fear of death. In addition to the hell beasts, the surrounding vast Yin-Yang divine light formed the netherworld destructive power that swept out like an ocean, covering everything and constantly attacking Ling Zhao's vital points. That storm of attacks wasn't something that an ordinary imperial monarch could resist at all. If it was a 9th level imperial monarch like Zhou Yuan, then that imperial monarch would have probably died a long time ago. The Yin-Yang Purgatory could not only refine the body, soul, and origin, but also the heart. The destructive power was everywhere, and it was impossible to resist. Rumble. However, Ling Zhao's body emitted chaotic light, and purple chi rose up, vast and mighty. His body was dazzling, and filled with immortal light. When he collided with the Yin-Yang destructive power, there was a sound of metal clashing. Ling Zhao's current physical body was extremely strong, and it was normal for him to take on an extreme Dao Emperor weapon that had not fully recovered. let alone the yin-yang purgatory formation that had not fully activated. Ling Xiao did not seem to have diverted much energy to resist the attack of the destructive power around him. Instead, he kept colliding with the hell beasts, and every punch could kill a hell beast. Clang! Sword Qi rose up, and the sky-devouring sword appeared in Ling Xiao's hand, releasing a vast and dazzling light. The sword swept across 1,000,000 miles, and the sword Qi chilled 3,000 miles. The sky-devouring sword was a supreme sword embryo that had merged with the 4 immortal slaying swords. It was incomparably sharp and could kill everything. When the hell beasts were slashed by the sky-devouring sword, their incomparably tough bodies were cut into 2 like tofu, and then turned into yin-yang qi. Swoosh! 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 The sky-devouring sword shone brightly, and a terrifying power exploded in Ling Xiao's hand. He charged into the group of hell beasts, and with his extreme physical body and speed, he kept killing the hell beasts. It seems like I can't use an extreme Dao Emperor weapon in the yin-yang purgatory formation. Otherwise, the yin-yang purgatory formation would be fully recovered. Ling Xiao's heart suddenly palpitated as an incomparable sense of danger surged in his heart. He immediately thought to himself. The source was the sky-devouring sword in his hand. The power of the sky-devouring sword seemed to have caused the yin-yang purgatory formation to react. Ling Xiao immediately kept the sky-devouring sword, and then he fought the hell beasts alone with his bare hands. Although Ling Xiao's strength was extremely heaven-defying, he was still injured when he was surrounded by hundreds of hell beasts. Wounds appeared on his body, and the destructive power of the netherworld invaded his body. His entire body was shrouded in a monstrous baleful aura. However, Ling Xiao did not even frown. He continued to use the supreme chaotic fist print, and he fought while bathed in blood, and continued to kill the hell beasts. In the blink of an eye, hundreds of hell beasts were killed by Ling Xiao. Although the hell beasts were immortal, they still needed a certain amount of time to reform their bodies. Ling Xiao killed a large number of hell beasts, attracting their hatred, and at the same time, creating an opportunity for the old goat. Ling Xiao, persevere. I will definitely be able to break this yin-yang purgatory formation. The old goat roared. His eyes were bloodshot. Although he was protected by the devouring formation disc, the destructive beams of light slammed into the yin-yang formation disc. It was on the verge of shattering at any moment. The old goat quickly formed seals with his hands, and runes rose into the air and flew into various parts of the formation, helping the old goat to check the situation of the formation. Chapter 3268. The yin-yang purgatory formation was a pure killing emperor formation. It could use the yin-yang great Dao origin to trigger the power of hell, and refine all living things. It was extremely powerful. However, the yin-yang purgatory formation's foundation was still the power of the yin-yang great Dao origin. Ling Xiao was now the lord of yin-yang imperial city. With the support of the yin-yang great Dao origin, he could vaguely sense the location of the formation core. He fought with the hell beasts as he moved towards the formation core. The old goat used the devouring formation disc to investigate the yin-yang purgatory formation. He wanted to find the flaw of this emperor formation. Even if it was a flawless emperor formation, it had been through so many eras. Under the baptism of time, there must be a flaw. The formation core and flaw were the key to breaking the formation. Rumble. The devouring formation disc released a dazzling light. A water-like barrier enveloped the old goat. As the old goat formed a seal with his hands, runes flew into the distance. In the old goat's eyes, the turbulent purgatory before him seemed to have turned into another scene. The yin-yang qi intertwined and operated according to some rules, forming a huge spatial purgatory. It gave rise to various powerful killing techniques. Moreover, the old goat also discovered that the origin energy of the yin-yang purgatory formation seemed to have fallen into a deep slumber. It had not completely awakened. If the origin energy was completely awakened, the yin-yang purgatory formation would be 10 times or even 100 times more terrifying than it was now. Ling Xiao and the old goat would not be able to withstand it with their cultivation. The flaw of the yin-yang purgatory formation is traced back to the yin-yang great Dao origin. After a few eras, this place has been replenished by the yin-yang great Dao origin. Although it is endlessly growing, it is difficult to continue. If I can use the yin-yang Great Tao origin to break the formation core, it will cause a chain reaction and completely shatter it. The old goat's eyes revealed a trace of understanding as he thought to himself. He had found the flaw of the yin-yang purgatory formation. Looking at Ling Xiao, who was fighting a bloody battle in the distance, the old goat instantly leaped up and chased after him. Old goat, I have sensed the location of the formation core. But we must kill all these hell beasts. The moment we kill them is the best time for us to break the formation. Ling Xiao transmitted his voice to the old goat. His eyes were filled with fighting spirit. I understand. When we reach the position of the array core, unleash your yin-yang Great Path origin and attack together with my sky-devouring disc array. We will definitely be able to break the array core and destroy this flawless emperor array completely. The old goat said slowly. His eyes were filled with incomparable craziness and excitement. To be able to break open a flawless emperor array was a supreme honor for any array master. Needless to say, after breaking the yin-yang purgatory formation, they would be able to obtain many benefits and opportunities. Kill. The murderous intent in Ling Xiao's eyes was as strong as steel. The blood and qi in his body rose like a dazzling sun, attracting all the hell beasts in the surroundings to charge at him. Boom. Ling Xiao punched out, and an unparalleled chaos fist imprint soared into the sky like a mountain. It pressed down majestically, and the few hell beasts were directly turned into dust. At the same time, he channeled his devouring Great Path origin. The vast sky-devouring domain appeared around him. It cooperated with the yin-yang Great Path origin above his head to constantly plunder and devour the surrounding yin-yang qi. Ling Xiao had already discovered that although the hell beasts were formed from the emperor array's power and had an undying body, they were still yin-yang qi in essence. Although Ling Xiao could not completely destroy the hell beasts by devouring the yin-yang qi, he could weaken the hell beast's power and slow down the time it took for the yin-yang qi to condense the hell beasts. At the same time, the yin-yang qi could also nourish Ling Xiao's yin-yang Dao fruit, making his yin-yang Dao fruit stronger and nurturing more origin energy. A perfect origin Dao fruit was like a seed. It could resonate with the origin of the great Tao of heaven and earth and borrow the power of the great Tao of heaven and earth. However, the power of the origin Tao fruit seemed endless. It could contain a vast amount of origin energy. Although devouring the yin-yang qi could not increase Ling Xiao's cultivation, it could strengthen his foundation. After all, once one's cultivation attained the 9th level of the imperial monarch realm, one was only a step away from becoming a supreme emperor. However, this step was like a natural chasm, and one had to accumulate sufficient resources and reserves in order to be able to complete the ultimate advancement. Otherwise, why would those ancient prodigies seal themselves from generation to generation? Apart from some of them wanting to fight for the secret of transcendence in this generation, the more important reason was that they did not have enough foundation to prove their Tao and become a supreme emperor. Rumble. Although the hell beasts were strong, who could be Ling Xiao's match in the same realm? Under Ling Xiao's blood-soaked slaughter and devouring, the number of hell beasts grew smaller and smaller. In the end, Ling Xiao's entire body was bathed in blood. 2 powerful punches landed on the last 2 hell beasts, instantly killing them. Ling Xiao's face was a little pale, and there were many wounds on his body. However, his eyes were extremely bright, and he exuded an invincible aura. Hundreds of hell beasts died in Ling Xiao's hands just like that. Although the yin-yang qi in the surroundings could condense new hell beasts at any time, it gave Ling Xiao and the old goat the best opportunity. Boom. Ling Xiao activated the yin-yang Dao fruit and instantly mobilized the yin-yang Dao origin energy above his head and blasted it forward. The void trembled, and a loud explosion resounded. It was as if the world had been pierced through, and all the yin-yang qi instantly turned into nothingness. The void in front of Ling Xiao and the old goat trembled slightly, and a pair of eyes appeared. One was black and one was white, and the yin-yang Dao origin energy intertwined. It was the formation eye of the great formation. Break the formation now. The old goat and Ling Xiao looked at each other and shouted. At the same time, they unleashed their strongest power. Boom. The devouring array disc released a dazzling light, and runes rose. Divine chains of order intertwined like the sun, and blasted toward the formation I. Chaotic light rose around Ling Xiao, and the yin-yang Dao origin energy condensed into the shadow of a Taiji diagram. It also pressed down mightily. Behind Ling Xiao, an incomparably terrifying power rose up as if it had sensed some kind of danger. All the yin and yang qi instantly transformed into a hell beast that was tens of thousands of feet tall, exuding a mighty emperor's aura. Then, it charged towards Ling Xiao. A great emperor-level hell beast? Ling Xiao's body shook, and a crazed look appeared in his eyes. He couldn't dodge. This was his only chance to break the formation. Boom boom boom. Ling Xiao instantly took out the wordless heavenly book to protect his indestructible primordial spirit. The creation jade disc was like a mysterious chaotic lotus that wrapped around him. It emitted 3,000 mysterious lotus flowers that were dazzling and brilliant. Ling Xiao didn't dodge. He planned to take the hell beast's attack head-on. Crack. Ling Xiao and the old goat slammed into the formation I at the same time. The formation I trembled violently, and cracks appeared as if it would shatter at any time. The hell beast behind him also slammed its claws on Ling Xiao's body. In an instant, Ling Xiao felt as if he had been hit by an immemorial divine mountain. His internal organs were trembling violently. Moreover, the terrifying extreme power surged into his body, trying to destroy his physical body, primordial spirit, and origin. Even his heart couldn't help but feel a sense of fear. The 3,000 lotuses formed by the jade disc of good fortune shattered like mirrors. Ling Xiao's physical body trembled violently like a spiderweb. Dense cracks appeared on his body, and it looked as if it would shatter at any time. Roar. The hell beast behind him let out a roar that reverberated through the heavens and earth. It condensed an extremely terrifying extreme emperor's aura, and it looked as if it was about to launch a fatal attack on Ling Xiao. However, at this moment, a destructive aura spread out in all directions. The yin-yang purgatory formation was broken. The hell beast let out an unwilling roar, and exploded in an instant. It turned into two streams of yin-yang qi and dissipated between the heavens and earth. Ling Xiao, are you alright? The old goat hurriedly rushed over and held Ling Xiao. His eyes were filled with worry and concern. Ling Xiao's current state looked extremely miserable. Dense cracks appeared on his physical body. Although the majestic life origin in Ling Xiao's body surged to repair his broken body, the destructive aura of the extreme power in the cracks worsened Ling Xiao's injuries. Ling Xiao's entire aura seemed to have become much weaker. I'm fine. Ling Xiao smiled weakly, but he still sat down on the ground. The vitality around him surged, enveloping him like clouds and mist. At the same time, the source of the great Tao of Yin and Yang continuously entered Ling Xiao's body, helping him to devour the power of the extreme Tao, repair his physical body, and heal his injuries rapidly. The old goat and Ling Xiao had already appeared below the two yin-yang light pillars. They were surrounded by the extreme yin divine aura and extreme yang divine wind. They were at the intersection. So many god-burying flowers? There's even the immortal emperor grass. Ha ha ha. Looks like this trip was worth it. The old goat saw that Ling Xiao's aura had stabilized and gradually relaxed. When he looked around, his eyes lit up as he exclaimed in surprise. The area covered by the extreme yin divine aura was shrouded in black fog with a dozen black flowers growing. The petals of the black flowers were as thin as cicadas' wings. They swayed gently like black butterflies. At the same time, they exuded a chilling aura. The fog was dense, and the scene of a mountain of corpses and a sea of blood vaguely appeared. It was extremely eerie. They were the god-burying flowers. In the area covered by the extreme yang divine wind, there were 7 or 8 golden blades of grass. The leaves were crystal clear, as if they were carved out of divine gold. They were extremely exquisite and bathed in a resplendent glow. They exuded an immortal aura. The golden blades of grass were ancient and mysterious. They exuded the aura of an emperor. Anyone who saw them could not help but feel a sense of reverence. The golden blades of grass were naturally the immortal emperor grass. These two origin source sacred herbs grew in the extreme yin divine aura and extreme yang divine wind. The old goat naturally rushed forward and plucked them all. In the huge abyss in front of him, extreme yang divine light and extreme yin divine light shot out. It was vast and dazzling. It was extremely terrifying. The ancestor of the Zhou clan should be in these two abyss, right? The Yin Yang pearl should be in there too. I just don't know if it's in the extreme Yin abyss or the extreme Yang abyss. The old goat thought to himself. However, he did not act rashly. Instead, he stood guard at the side and waited for Ling Xiao to finish healing before entering the abyss to explore. Although the Yin-Yang purgatory formation was broken, the area was still shrouded in Yin and Yang Qi. Those outside did not know what was happening inside. The old goat did not intend to inform Zhou Yuan and Zhou Zixu. The two brothers had finally broken the Yin-Yang purgatory formation and naturally wanted to explore it first. At this time, there was no need for Zhou Yuan to take a share of the loot. Just as Ling Xiao was recuperating, in the endless void, three figures were hidden in the resplendent light, watching Ling Xiao below. Should we take action now? Let's wait a little longer. Ling Xiao didn't expect to be able to break this emperor formation. Although he has suffered some injuries, no one knows his actual condition. That's right. This is the mission given by the Tribulation Master. We must be careful. After all, even Divine King Ju Wu died in his hands. In that case, let's wait and see. Yuming should be here soon, right? Should be soon. I've already revealed Ling Xiao's aura and location to him. I believe he won't let go of this opportunity. The three figures' divine consciousnesses intertwined. After a short discussion, they once again hid in the void. Billions of miles away from Ling Xiao, there was a majestic mountain. Chaos rose, and the atmosphere was extraordinary. Yuming stood at the peak of the mountain. His aura was unfathomable. His eyes seemed to contain the mysterious scene of the endless hell. Interesting. You want to borrow my hand to kill Ling Xiao? You want to be the fisherman? Let's see if you have the ability. Yuming's lips curled into a cruel smile. To be able to break the Yin-Yang purgatory formation, you have some ability. However, the Hongming pearl has already fallen into my hands. A purple bead appeared in Yuming's palm. It was sparkling and mysterious, as if there was a vast world flashing within it. That Yin-Yang pearl should have matured by now, right? As long as I merge the Yin-Yang pearl into my Hongming pearl, my opportunity to become an emperor will arrive. Yuming's eyes revealed a trace of blazing light as he muttered to himself. You're going to die anyway. Since your location has been exposed, don't blame me. Ling Xiao, wait for me to kill you and take back the Yin-Yang pearl. Yuming put away the pearl in his palm and looked in Ling Xiao's direction. There was a trace of icy killing intent rising in his eyes. Boom. He stepped into the air, exuding a terrifying aura. Like a black thunderbolt, he swept across the sky in Ling Xiao's direction. He didn't take the bait? He's still cautious. Ling Xiao thought to himself. There was a trace of resplendent light in his eyes. Although his body was covered in dense cracks and looked extremely terrifying, his injuries were not serious. Those were just flaws that he had purposely revealed. After all, the Hell Beast's hasty attack had not completely broken through the wordless Heavenly Book and Creation Jade Disc's defense. Although Ling Xiao's body was shaken, his injuries were not serious. Ling Xiao had sensed that someone was spying on him and revealed hostility and killing intent. This time, he purposely revealed his weakness to lure the person in the dark. However, the person in the dark was extremely cautious. Ling Xiao waited for so long, but he did not appear. Ling Xiao, are you all right? The old goat saw that Ling Xiao had woken up. The cracks on his body had mostly disappeared. Although he still looked weak, he was much better than before. I'm fine. I found the god-burying flower and the immortal emperor herb. All that's left is the Yin-Yang pearl. Ling Xiao said with a smile. However, these two abyss don't look simple. I just don't know which abyss the Yin-Yang pearl is in. It's a pity that Zhou Yuan doesn't know either. The old goat looked at the two huge abyss in front of him. It's fine. There are only two abyss. We'll explore them one by one. If it's really as Zhou Yuan said, and the Zhou family's ancestor was trapped in this Yin-Yang purgatory formation, then the Yin-Yang pearl should be in there. However, I'm more curious about where the thousands of origin Dao fruits that Zhou Yuan mentioned are. There was a trace of curiosity in Ling Xiao's eyes. Although he did not sense any hostility from Zhou Yuan, he instinctively felt that Zhou Yuan seemed to be hiding something from him. Apex. Chapter 3269. Zhou Yuan didn't say much before. I'm afraid he's hiding something from us. But now there's no need to ask him. We'll find out by ourselves. The old goat sneered. Although he had found the god-burying flower and immortal emperor grass, he was still unhappy with Zhou Yuan's secretiveness. Alright. Let's go to the ultimate Yin Abyss first. Maybe the ultimate Yin Abyss and ultimate Yang Abyss are connected. Ling Zhao's eyes glinted as he spoke. Extreme Yin gave birth to Yang, and extreme Yang gave birth to Yin. This was the place where Yin and Yang converged. Although there were two abyss, the Yin and Yang energy were connected. They were both part of the great Tao of Yin and Yang. Alright. The old goat nodded and headed towards the ultimate Yin Abyss with Ling Xiao. Rumble. The ultimate Yin divine aura surged around them. It contained an aura that could freeze everything. It was a power that could freeze one's primordial spirit. At the same time, the ultimate Yin divine aura was as sharp as a blade. It was as if it could cut a person into pieces. Chaotic light rose around Ling Xiao, emitting an immortal and mysterious light. He didn't have any protection against the ultimate Yin divine aura. He used his physical body to take it head-on. The ultimate Yin divine aura couldn't do any harm to him. The old goat's physical body was naturally not strong enough to withstand the Yin spirit aura head-on. He activated the devouring sky array disc and used the extreme power to protect himself. They were as fast as lightning as they headed towards the ultimate Yin Abyss. However, the deeper they went, the thicker the ultimate Yin divine aura became. In the end, it was like a cloud that blocked their senses. Moreover, the pressure in the abyss was terrifying. It was as if there were billions of mountains pressing down on them from all directions. Although the old goat had the devouring array disc's defense, his face was still pale, and his eyes were filled with seriousness. However, this level of pressure was nothing to Ling Xiao. His immortal body was dazzling, causing the surrounding space to tremble slightly. An extremely powerful divine aura spread out, causing the powerful pressure in the surroundings to dissipate into nothingness. Rumble. After flying for an unknown period of time, a black bolt of lightning suddenly appeared. It contained an extremely terrifying destructive power, and struck Ling Xiao and the old goat. It was like a black python, emitting a tyrannical aura. Ling Xiao's eyes were sharp as he unleashed a supreme fist print. The fist radiance was unparalleled as it continuously shattered the surrounding lightning. On the other hand, the old goat activated the devouring formation disc. It was like a world of devouring. It exuded a majestic devouring force and destroyed all the incoming lightning bolts. This is the aura of the netherworld. Ling Zhao's heart skipped a beat, and a look of incomparable shock appeared in his eyes. Although it was weak, he could still sense that the aura of the black lightning around him was almost identical to that of the netherworld. The Yin-Yang Purgatory Formation, and the aura of the netherworld. Could this place have something to do with the netherworld? Ling Xiao thought to himself. Although he had only exchanged one blow with Yuming before, he was extremely familiar with Yuming's aura. Yuming's aura actually appeared in this abyss of ultimate Yin. Yuming was a 6th ultimate king, someone who had reached the peak for 6 epochs. Perhaps he had come here before. Ling Xiao felt a sense of vigilance in his heart. If this place had something to do with the netherworld would definitely have sensed it when he and the old goat broke the Yin-Yang Purgatory Formation. Crack. Blazing lightning bolts rose in front of them. It was as vast as rain, as if the Milky Way was flowing backwards. The extremely terrifying destructive force seemed to be able to destroy all life. However, Ling Xiao could sense a trace of Yang coming from the extreme indestructive aura. We should be reaching the bottom soon, Ling Xiao said slowly. Are we finally reaching? The old goat couldn't help but heave a sigh of relief when he heard Ling Xiao's words. The abyss of ultimate Yin was too oppressive. If it was an ordinary 9th Heaven Imperial Emperor, it would be difficult for him to make it here. Swoosh. Swoosh. After Ling Xiao and the old goat passed through the destructive lightning bolts, the scene before them suddenly became clear. They appeared in an incomparably huge underground space. Yin and Yang Qi intertwined in front of them. It looked extremely mysterious, but it gushed out through the 2 huge holes above them, turning into 2 light pillars that pierced through the heavens and the earth. The abyss of ultimate Yin and the abyss of ultimate Yang are indeed connected. The old goat exclaimed excitedly. If I'm not wrong, that should be the yin-yang pearl, right? Ling Zhao's eyes flashed as his gaze landed on a pearl in the distance. In the middle of the huge underground space, there was a chaos stone that was as tall as a person. It was enveloped in a mysterious chaos qi. A black and white pearl floated above it, flowing with yin and yang qi. It contained a majestic yin-yang great Tao origin. It resonated with the yin-yang great Tao above Ling Zhao's head. That pearl was the source of the yin-yang light pillar. The vast and majestic yin and yang force formed the ultimate yin divine aura and ultimate yang divine wind. It was the power of that pearl. It should be the yin-yang pearl. It must be a unique treasure to be able to emit such majestic yin-yang great Tao origin. However, look at that stone. Doesn't it look like the legendary era stone? The old goat nodded. Suddenly, his gaze landed on the chaos stone, and he immediately became overjoyed. The era stone? Ling Zhao's eyes flashed. That chaos stone was as tall as a person. It looked very strange as it was surrounded by chaos qi. However, upon closer inspection, it seemed to be free from time, and was not tainted by the aura of time. The era stone. Ling Zhao was almost certain that this chaos stone was the era stone. Legend had it that it could withstand the invasion of the power of time, and allow those geniuses to seal themselves within the era stone. This is really strange. Other than the era stone and the yin-yang pearl, there is nothing else here. Where are the ancestors of the Zhou clan? Could it be that he sealed himself in this epic stone? The old goat's eyes revealed a trace of incomparable surprise. The old goat's words made Ling Zhao's heart tremble. It was as though a bolt of lightning had struck his heart. Suddenly, a bold idea came to his mind. Perhaps you're right. The ancestor of the Zhou clan is in the era stone. However, what I'm curious about is that even though he was trapped here by the yin-yang purgatory formation, he still chose to seal himself and didn't die in the formation. Could it be that the master of the formation didn't want to kill him? Ling Zhao said slowly as he walked towards the yin-yang pearl. Ling Zhao, be careful. The old goat could not help but be shocked as he hurriedly reminded Ling Zhao. I know. Ling Zhao nodded faintly, and then reached out to grab the yin-yang pearl. Boom. It was as if a bolt of lightning had exploded. Suddenly, the yin-yang pearl shone with an extremely dazzling light. The vast power of yin and yang rose up like two dragons intertwining together, exuding a vast and ancient aura. The yin-yang pearl shook violently, and so did the era stone. It was as though it had sensed something. Boom. Ling Zhao's eyes shone brightly. The origin of the great way of yin and yang above his head rose. His entire body exuded a powerful pressure. Instantly, he grabbed the yin-yang pearl in his palm. Streams of yin and yang energy intertwined like blades, trying to break Ling Zhao's palm. The yin-yang pearl shook violently as though it was about to fly from Ling Zhao's hand to the era stone. Crack! Cracks instantly appeared on the huge era stone, and an ancient and powerful aura gushed out from it. Ling Zhao grabbed the yin-yang pearl and immediately retreated. Boom! The era stone suddenly exploded as vast yin and yang divine light surged out. A figure with an unfathomable aura appeared in front of Ling Zhao and the old goat. The old goat immediately took out the devouring array disc to protect him and Ling Zhao. However, when they saw the figure clearly, they were all extremely shocked. A lady in a purple dress floated in the yin and yang divine light. She was extremely beautiful and exuded a graceful and noble aura. The lady's eyes were tightly shut as the aura of death surrounded her. She looked like she was dead, but there was still a trace of vitality in her body. It was very strange. The lady exuded a vast yin and yang great Tao origin which formed a mysterious resonance with the yin-yang pearl in Ling Zhao's hand. Most importantly, Ling Zhao and the old goat realized that the lady in purple looked exactly like Zhou Yuan's granddaughter, Zhou Zixu. Is this the ancestor of the Zhou clan? Why does she look so similar to Zhou Zixu? Moreover, she seems to be dead. How was she sealed in this epic stone? The old goat was filled with doubts. He originally thought that there was a self-proclaimed peerless genius in the era stone. He did not know if the person was a friend or foe, so he immediately took out the devouring array disc. However, he did not expect that there was only a corpse in the era stone. She's dead. That strand of life force was only injected into her body by someone in order to seal her in the Era Stone. Ling Xiao said slowly. There was a strange look in his eyes. Buzz. He let go of the yin yang pearl in his hand. The yin yang pearl buzzed and instantly soared into the air, and floated above the lady in purple. The vast and majestic yin and yang energy intertwined and formed a resonance with the yin and yang great Tao in the lady in purple. Rumble. The vast yin and yang divine light from the lady in purple's body surged into the yin yang pearl, causing it to become brighter and brighter. It was as dazzling as the sun. Ling Xiao's eyes were filled with shock. He could vaguely see the changes in yin and yang within the yin yang pearl, as though an ancient world had appeared. The majestic aura within the yin yang pearl made Ling Xiao's heart palpitate. There's such a vast amount of yin and yang energy accumulated in the yin yang pearl? Could it be that the yin yang pearl has been borrowing the lady's power to devour the yin and yang origins in the universe for the past few eras? Ling Xiao's heart trembled as a look of incomparable astonishment appeared in his eyes. In his opinion, the lady in purple was like a medium between the yin yang pearl and the yin and yang great Tao origin. She could continuously extract the yin and yang great Tao origin and pour it into the yin yang pearl. Therefore, the yin yang pearl and the lady in purple seemed to be one, and the two of them had a mysterious resonance. Rumble. As the yin yang pearl devoured, the lady in purple's corpse trembled violently. In the end, it directly collapsed, turning into pure yin and yang divine light that was absorbed into the yin yang pearl. Meanwhile, over 1,000 stars bloomed within the lady in purple's body. They intertwined with each other like divine chains of order, giving off a mysterious aura. Origin Tao fruit? Ling Xiao's eyes lit up. He immediately realized that the 1,000 stars were actually over 1,000 origin Tao fruits. Moreover, they were all perfect origin Tao fruits. Seeing that the thousands of origin Tao fruits were about to be completely devoured by the yin yang pearl, Ling Xiao immediately reached out and grabbed the thousands of origin Tao fruits. His powerful cultivation base erupted and he grabbed all of them. The yin yang pearl buzzed continuously, as if it was extremely displeased with Ling Xiao's actions. However, there was nothing it could do in the end. Ling Xiao put the 1,000 origin Tao fruits away, and the yin yang pearl gradually dimmed. It turned into a black and white pearl and flew back into Ling Xiao's palm. As for the lady in purple, it was as if she had never appeared. Zhou Yuan didn't lie to me after all. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. Brilliant light bloomed from between his brows like a whirlpool, instantly sucking the 1,000 origin Tao fruits into his consciousness. The indestructible soul shone with resplendent light. It enveloped the 1,000 origin Tao fruits and began to refine them slowly. Although a large portion of the 1,000 origin Tao fruits overlapped with Ling Xiao's own origin Tao fruits, it was still enough to provide him with a few hundred perfect origin Tao fruits. Ling Xiao roughly estimated that after he completely refined it, the number of origin Tao fruits in his primordial spirit sea would probably exceed 2,000. What's going on? The old goat looked at the yin yang pearl in Ling Xiao's hand and asked in confusion. If I'm not wrong, this should have something to do with Netherming. Ling Xiao said faintly, a sharp glint in his eyes. Netherming? The master of reincarnation Imperial City, Netherming? That's right. The lady in purple should be the ancestor of the Zhou clan. However, she died at Netherming's hands a few epochs ago. Before she died, Netherming established the yin-yang purgatory formation and sealed it in the epic stone. He used it to communicate with the power of the origin of yin and yang to nurture the yin-yang pearl. Therefore, you should have realized that even though the yin-yang purgatory formation is a perfect monarch formation, its power isn't strong enough. Its main purpose is to nurture the yin-yang pearl. Ling Xiao said slowly, looking at the yin-yang pearl in his hand. What? It's not enough to kill the ancestor of the Zhou clan? He's using her corpse to nurture the yin-yang pearl? Even though the yin-yang pearl is a rare artifact, it's not an extreme monarch weapon. Why is Netherming nurturing the yin-yang pearl? The old goat said in disbelief. You'll have to ask Netherming. He shouldn't be far from here. I think we should go out and welcome him. Ling Xiao said calmly. His eyes seemed to be able to see through the rift and into the endless void. Is Netherming coming to retrieve the yin-yang pearl? If he dares to come, I'll make sure he doesn't return. the old goat said with murderous intent. His eyes were filled with eagerness. From various clues, it could be seen that Yu Ming was not only extremely powerful, but he was also a powerful array master. The old goat was filled with anticipation to be able to exchange blows with such a array master. Let's leave this place first. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. Then, he leaped up and turned into a dazzling streamer, flying out of the extreme Yin abyss. Without the Yin Yang pearl, the extreme Yin abyss and the extreme Yang abyss no longer shot out Yin Yang light pillars. They became two ordinary abyss and could no longer affect Ling Xiao and the old goat. Chapter 3270. The Yin Yang light pillar has disappeared. It seems like young Master Ling Xiao has broken through the array and entered the abyss. Zhou Yuan's eyes lit up as he spoke excitedly. He can even break through a flawless emperor array? The strength of this Ling Xiao's strength has probably exceeded our imagination. However, will he really return the Yin Yang pearl to us? Zhou Zisu's heart skipped a beat. Her eyes were filled with shock as she asked Zhou Yuan worriedly. I think so. We can only take a gamble now. Zhou Yuan was also unsure as he smiled bitterly. Yap Liangchen, the white dragon horse Kuanpeng, and Taoist Wuyang's eyes lit up. They were completely relieved. They were not concerned about whether Ling Xiao and the old goat could obtain the Yin Yang pearl. They were only worried about their safety. Now it seemed like Ling Xiao and the old goat were safe. When they stepped into the wasteland in front of them, they were not attacked by the array formation. Only then did they confirm that the flawless array formation had indeed been broken. We will wait for them at the entrance of the abyss, Taoist Wuyang said. The group arrived at the extreme Yin abyss and the extreme Yang abyss without any obstacles. They did not encounter any danger. Although the extreme Yin abyss and the extreme Yang abyss were no longer emitting Yin Yang divine light, they were still emitting cold and hot auras. They did not have to wait for long before they saw Ling Xiao and the old goat flying out of the abyss. Young Master Ling Xiao, have you found the Yin Yang pearl? Zhou Yuan's eyes were filled with excitement. He bowed deeply to Ling Xiao and took a deep breath before saying, Thank you for your generosity. Ling Xiao nodded. His palm shone brightly as the black and white Yin Yang pearl appeared. It is indeed the Yin Yang pearl. Zhou Yuan and Zhou Zisu shuddered, their faces filled with excitement. Zhou Yuan even reached out his hand to grab the Yin Yang pearl. However, Ling Xiao's palm shone brightly as he kept the Yin Yang pearl back. Young Master Ling Xiao, what is the meaning of this? Zhou Yuan's face instantly turned ugly. Zhou Zisu was also furious. Could it be that Ling Xiao was after the Yin Yang pearl and wanted to go back on his words? Before I pass the Yin Yang pearl to you, Pavilion Master Zhou needs to answer a few questions. Ling Xiao said flatly. What questions? Zhou Yuan forcefully suppressed the anger in his heart. May I ask, Pavilion Master Zhou, what exactly is this Yin Yang pearl? Why does your Zhou clan's ancestor look exactly like your granddaughter, Zhou Zisu? Also, who exactly is your Zhou clan's ancestor? Ling Xiao stared at Zhou Yuan and said indifferently. Although his voice was extremely calm, there was a vast and majestic aura around him that pressed towards Zhou Yuan. You saw my Zhou clan's ancestor? Zhou Yuan's body trembled, his eyes filled with disbelief. Several epochs had already passed, and the Zhou clan's ancestor had long fallen. Right now, his corpse was probably nowhere to be found, reduced to ashes. How could Ling Xiao possibly meet the Zhou clan's ancestor? Answer my question. Otherwise, not only will you not be able to get the Yin Yang pearl, you might not even be able to leave this place safely. Ling Xiao said calmly. Boom. The old goat sneered and instantly took out the devouring array disc. It swallowed and spat out a powerful light, locking Zhou Yuan and Zhou Zisu in place. Although Taoist Wuyang, the white dragon horse, and the others did not know what was going on, they also vaguely surrounded Zhou Yuan and Zhou Zisu with hostility. Since Ling Xiao said so, there must be a problem. Perhaps Zhou Yuan was hiding some important information. The atmosphere instantly became tense. I can't hide anything from you, young Master Ling Xiao. Zhou Yuan laughed bitterly, looking as if he had aged a lot in an instant. He sighed and began to answer Ling Xiao's question. Young Master Ling Xiao, I'm sure you've already obtained the 1,000 origin Dao fruits. You should have a certain guess about my Zhou clan's ancestor's identity. That's right. She was a robber, but it was not what she wanted. She was chosen by the heavenly Tao and became a robber. A robber? I see. Ling Xiao nodded faintly. It was indeed as he had guessed. A few eras ago, she entered the realm of nothingness to fight for the opportunity to become an emperor, but she failed in the end. My Zhou clan only received a message from her before she died, telling us where she died and asking us to retrieve the Yin Yang Pearl. However, she did not tell us who our enemy was. A trace of helplessness appeared in Zhou Yuan's eyes. He said, "As for why my granddaughter resembles ancestor Zhou Rulong of my Zhou clan, it's because my granddaughter has obtained a portion of ancestor Rulong's inheritance and merged with her soul fragment. So in a sense my granddaughter and ancestor Rulong are one and the same." I see. Then please tell me, what is this Yin Yang Pearl? Ling Xiao said faintly. This was the most important question. Ling Xiao could vaguely feel that this Yin Yang Pearl was extraordinary and contained a terrifying amount of power. However, he could not find out the details of the Yin Yang Pearl. It was as if something was missing. The Yin Yang Pearl is an inheritance treasure of my Zhou clan, and it contains the quintessence energy of the grand Tao of Yin and Yang. Once one obtains the Yin Yang Pearl, one's cultivation will instantly improve to the 9th level of the Imperial Monarch realm. Moreover, one will possess extremely formidable combat strength. Zhou Yuan said slowly. You're not telling the truth. Ling Xiao said faintly. Old man, I've long found you an eyesore. How dare you hide it from us now? When Yu Ming arrives, not only will you not be able to obtain the Yin Yang Pearl, but you'll also die without a burial place. The old goat said angrily. Yu Ming? Zhou Yuan's body shook. Instantly, there was a trace of disbelief in his eyes. You're saying that the enemy who killed my Zhou clan's ancestor is Yu Ming? Yu Ming. These two words made Zhou Yuan and Zhou Zis's faces turn pale instantly. Others only knew that Yu Ming was the 6th ultimate overlord and a supreme genius of the ancient era. However, they knew very little about Yu Ming's strength. However, as a native of Eternal Emperor Road, Zhou Yuan knew better than anyone how powerful and terrifying Yu Ming was. The two words represented death, slaughter, and cruelty. You're right. That trash Zhou Rulong did die in my hands. How dare an androgynous thing like you try to compete with me for the Hongmeng bead? You really don't know what's good for you. A cold and cruel voice suddenly rang out in the void. Rumble. A dark and terrifying aura swept out like a vast ocean, shrouding the heavens and the earth. In the endless void, a figure stepped out. His eyes were cruel and cold. His body exuded a deathly and oppressive aura, as if hell had descended. Everyone could not help but feel a chill run down their spines. Yu Ming. Zhou Yuan and Zhou Zis's bodies shook violently. Their faces turned even paler, and their eyes were filled with fear. They did not expect Zhou clan's ancestor, Zhou Rulong, to die in Yu Ming's hands. They also did not expect Yu Ming to arrive so quickly. Yu Ming stood in the void like an ancient demon god walking in hell. His body exuded a vast and terrifying aura as if hell had enveloped them. It was extremely terrifying. Behind Yu Ming, there were more than 10 figures in black armor. Only pairs of blood-red eyes could be seen. Their auras were unfathomable. Their cultivation had all reached the 9th heaven of the Imperial Emperor realm. Those were Yu Ming's followers. Ling Zhao's eyes narrowed. He had already guessed it, so he was not surprised by Yu Ming's arrival. Ling Xiao, the Yin Yang bead is in your hands, right? Hand it over, and I'll give you a quick death. How about it? Yu Ming's cruel gaze fell on Ling Xiao as he spoke mockingly. The Yin Yang bead is indeed with me. However, I'm very curious. What exactly is the Yin Yang bead? The Hongmeng bead. Could it be the Hongmeng bead, one of the 10 legendary chaos treasures? Is the Yin Yang bead related to the Hongmeng bead? Ling Xiao asked as he looked at Yu Ming calmly. The old goat, Taoist Wuliang, and the others stared at Yu Ming and his followers as if they were facing a great enemy. They all understood that this battle was unavoidable. Yu Ming was ranked 4th on the Dao confirmation list. He was a 6th ultimate king, and the Lord of Reincarnation Imperial City. No one would deny his strength. especially after breaking the yin-yang purgatory formation and confirming that Yu Ming was a powerful array master. The old goat was even more fearful of Yu Ming. Ah, Ling Xiao, you're about to die, but you still have so many questions. Since you're so curious, I'll satisfy your curiosity. That's right, the yin-yang bead in your hands can produce a certain change in the Hongmeng bead. It's enough to allow someone to prove their Tao and become an emperor. It can be said that the yin-yang bead and the Hongmeng bead are the opportunity to become an emperor. Don't you think it's precious? Yu Ming laughed loudly. His eyes were full of mockery as he stared at Ling Xiao crazily. He spoke of the yin-yang bead's function without any scruples, as if he had no intention of hiding it. The opportunity to become an emperor? These 4 words caused everyone's body to involuntarily tremble, and even their breathing became hurried. Although Yu Ming did not speak in detail, it still caused everyone to involuntarily tremble. Their eyes revealed an incomparably blazing expression. The opportunity to become an emperor? These 4 words also caused the breathing of the 3 figures in the endless nothingness to quicken. The Hongmeng bead is one of the 10 great chaos treasures. I didn't expect it to fall into Yu Ming's hands. If the combination of the yin-yang bead and the Hongmeng bead can really allow one to become an emperor, then we can't let it go. That's right. When Yu Ming and Ling Xiao are both injured, we'll immediately attack, kill them, and snatch the Hongmeng bead and the yin-yang bead. This is probably the opportunity to become an emperor from a few eras ago. I don't know why Yu Ming did not choose to prove his Tao. If that's the case, then he can die. Don't be careless. Yu Ming and Ling Xiao are not ordinary people. We must make sure to kill them in one strike. The 3 figures' divine thoughts intertwined, exuding an incomparable wave of greed and passion. As robbers, they could not remain calm in the face of the opportunity to become an emperor. Since you've told me, do you think I'll still give you the yin-yang bead? Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat, but he still looked at Yu Ming calmly. He'd long since confirmed that even though Yu Ming seemed arrogant and conceited, he was actually a scheming person. Ling Xiao only believed half of what he said. This was a battle of words, but it was also a battle of auras. Ling Xiao and Yu Ming were both accumulating their strength. Both of them knew that there would be a battle today, so they were adjusting their auras, ready to fight at any time. You won't hand it over? It's simple. If I kill you, the yin-yang bead will naturally be mine. Yu Ming smiled. His smile was cruel and bloodthirsty, and a crazy murderous intent surged around him. Rumble. The dark and oppressive aura around him seemed to be able to bury everything. It pressed down on Ling Xiao mightily like hell, filled with despair and oppression. That kind of aura already contained a trace of extreme sublimation power. It was probably not much worse than the legendary Supreme Emperor. Or I kill you, and the Hongmeng bead will be mine. Ling Xiao said indifferently. Chaotic light also rose around him, and a vast and majestic aura suppressed everything. He was like an invincible primordial ancestor god, exuding a dignified and mysterious aura. He and Yu Ming did not seem to be at a disadvantage at all. As for Zhou Yuan and Zhou Zixu, they had already been forgotten. Their eyes were filled with panic, and their faces were extremely pale. They all felt the threat of death. If Ling Xiao and Yu Ming were to fight, the 2 of them would not be able to avoid being implicated. If I had known that the enemy who killed our ancestor was Yu Ming, I would not have come to look for the yin-yang bead now. Zhou Yuan's heart was filled with bitterness and regret. He originally wanted to let Zhou Zixu merge with the power of the yin-yang bead after obtaining it, and her cultivation would skyrocket. At that time, with the help of the yin-yang bead, she might have the strength to fight for the opportunity to become an emperor. However, he did not expect that the enemy who killed the Zhou family ancestor was Yu Ming, and that he had lived until this era. All of his plans had been for naught. Grandfather, if Ling Xiao can kill Yu Ming, he might return the yin-yang bead to us. We still have a chance. Zhou Zixu bit her lip and said slowly. Ling Xiao killed Yu Ming? Zixu, you don't know how terrifying Yu Ming is. Ling Xiao's chances of defeating Yu Ming are extremely slim. Moreover, even if he can kill Yu Ming, who would reject the opportunity to become an emperor? Why would he return the yin-yang bead to us? Zhou Yuan laughed bitterly, and his face became even older. Grandfather, I believe in him. Zhou Zisu said stubbornly. Looking at Ling Xiao's back, her eyes were filled with determination. Zisu, if Ling Xiao really fights with Yuming later, I will think of a way to stop them. You must leave the realm of nothingness. You are the hope of our Zhou family. You must not die here. Zhou Yuan's eyes were filled with determination as he stared at Zhou Zisu and said seriously, Grandfather. Zhou Zisu's body trembled, and her eyes immediately turned red. Rumble. At that moment, the battle between Ling Xiao and Yuming's aura reached its peak. Chapter 3271. Let's fight. Ling Xiao shouted. His eyes were filled with fighting spirit, and his body was emitting a monstrous aura. For an expert at Yuming's level, words were useless. Such an expert had experienced 6 eras, and walked out of a mountain of corpses, and a sea of blood. He had already condensed an invincible aura, and his mind was incomparably strong. Perhaps his path of heart had already been cultivated to the great perfection realm. In the face of such an expert, the only way was to defeat him fair and square. Ling Xiao was not careless at all. He condensed a physical body and a terrifying aura rose around him. It was as if the power of a chaotic divine demon had been added to his body, allowing him to casually throw a punch with the power to destroy heaven and earth. Good timing. Yuming's eyes instantly became incomparably sharp. The cold arrogance and bloodthirstiness on his face instantly disappeared, leaving only indifference. Boom. He threw out a palm, and the netherworld divine light around him surged as if a sea of blood was rising. At the same time, it transformed into various terrifying visions of the netherworld. It was breathtaking as it pressed down on Ling Xiao. Behind Yuming, a pitch-black Dao spirit also appeared. It was like a demon god from hell, and its aura was monstrous. He had also condensed a physical body and a Dao spirit. Crack! The fist and palm collided, causing the void to shake violently. The chaotic light swept through everything and destroyed all the netherworld energy in the sky. Ling Xiao's body swayed in the void, and Yuming's body shook violently as he was sent flying. They had both condensed a physical body and a Dao spirit, but Ling Xiao's physical body was stronger than Yuming's. However, Yuming did not suffer any injuries, and the murderous intent in his eyes grew stronger. Very good. Your physical body is indeed strong. After I kill you and condense the netherworld divine corpse, it will definitely become my corpse king. Yuming sneered and pounced towards Ling Xiao again. That palm seemed to be just a test. The fire of the underworld rose around him in an instant, capable of burning everything. In the fire of the underworld that filled the sky, in an instant, there were palm prints that covered the sky and earth, sweeping towards Ling Xiao. Kill! The cold roar caused the surrounding void to tremble violently. Yuming's aura seemed to have increased several times in an instant. Rumble! Ling Xiao's body was filled with boundless energy. It was as if an entire world had been bestowed upon him, allowing him to shake the heavens and earth and destroy the chaos with a single move. Ling Xiao was fearless as he stepped into the area enveloped by the flames of the netherworld, and engaged in close combat with the netherworld. Rumble. Both of them possessed extreme speed. It was as if they had broken through the limits of time and space. Every strike caused the heavens and earth to tremble, and the void to shatter. Endless chaotic mist surged around them like a storm, cutting through everything. However, it was unable to cause any harm to them. Ling Xiao and Yuming seemed to have turned into 2 resplendent suns as they collided with each other. Every strike sent out a shockwave that could destroy the heavens and earth. Their intense battle caused everyone's expression to turn grave. Their eyes were filled with shock. This netherworld fruit is truly unfathomable. Although that absolute godly king is known as the 3 absolutes king, I'm afraid he won't be able to last more than a few moves against netherworld. Taoist Wuliang said slowly. There seemed to be a yin-yang tai chi diagram in his eyes that could see through everything. Although the battle between Ling Xiao and Yuming was extremely fast, Wuliang could clearly see all the trajectories of their attacks. 6 absolutes king is extraordinary. This netherworld has already condensed a physical body and a Dao spirit. I'm afraid he has more than 1 Dao spirit. Yi Liangchen also sighed softly. The most terrifying thing is that this netherworld is very likely to be a formation emperor. He's an existence that can set up a supreme formation. If he's really given the time to set up a flawless emperor formation, I'm afraid we'll all be trapped in it. Therefore, we have to be careful at all times. We can't give him any chance to set up a formation. The old goat said slowly. The devouring formation disc floated above his head, sprinkling down a dazzling radiance. It was checking if there were any traces of formation runes in the surroundings to prevent Yu Ming from setting up a formation and killing them all in one fell swoop. However, what surprised the old goat and the others was that the dozen or so followers behind Yu Ming were extremely powerful. They did not attack the old goat and the others immediately. Instead, they waited there. They locked onto the old goat and the others, vaguely monitoring them. However, they did not attack as if they were waiting for the result of this battle with Yu Ming. Zhou Yuan, who was incomparably nervous, calmed down a little. However, the determination in his eyes grew stronger. It was as if he was ready to risk his life at any moment to send Zhou Zisu away. Zhou Zisu stared at Yu Ming in the void. There seemed to be a strange radiance flickering in his indestructible primordial spirit. There was a trace of confusion in his eyes as he looked at Yu Ming. Boom. The aura around Ling Xiao rose, filled with an invincible aura. He threw out a punch as if the power of heaven and earth was about to descend. It completely locked onto Yu Ming, giving him no chance to dodge. This was the invincible fist intent that Ling Xiao had cultivated after condensing his physical body and Tao spirit. It merged all skills and nourished hundreds of scriptures. His fist intent had already reached a godly level. When he threw out a punch, it swept across the void. However, it gave people the feeling that his fist intent was everywhere. The fist print covered the sky and every punch contained an unparalleled killing intent that dominated the universe. Of course, Yu Ming naturally would not dodge. His netherworld divine palm contained vast netherworld origin. When his palm landed, it was as if the world was turned upside down. It was as if he wanted to pull all life into the cycle of reincarnation and be completely buried in the netherworld hell. He and Ling Xiao violently clashed and fought in the chaos. Every blow was as if the world was being split apart, erupting with all kinds of mysterious and unfathomable visions. However, in terms of physical strength, although Yu Ming had also condensed his physical body and Tao spirit, he was still weaker than Ling Xiao. He was already at a disadvantage. This discovery made the old goat and Taoist Wuliang extremely excited. On the other hand, Yu Ming's followers looked indifferent. Their eyes were filled with fanatical worship as they looked at Yu Ming. It was as if they were not worried that Yu Ming would be defeated by Ling Xiao. Gotcha. There was another terrifying collision. Endless chaos exploded and swept away all the netherworld divine light. Ling Xiao was bathed in the netherworld fire. His physical body exuded an immortal light. He was like a supreme great emperor, suppressing the heavens. His aura was extremely terrifying. Boom. Ling Xiao's fist pressed down. After colliding with Yu Ming's extreme speed, he suddenly locked Yu Ming's arm. Then he kicked out in the air and aimed at Yu Ming's head. Yu Ming's face was cold. His finger was like a sword. The black sword qi seemed to be able to pierce the sky. In an instant, it touched the sole of Ling Xiao's foot and blocked Ling Xiao's kick. At the same time, his tongue released a thunderous sound. A vast and terrifying sound wave enveloped Ling Xiao. Zha. The word zha was like a supreme Tao sound that could split the heavens and earth. It was invisible and intangible. It actually broke through Ling Xiao's physical defense and swept directly toward Ling Xiao's indestructible primordial spirit. At the same time, Yu Ming's eyes were extremely cruel. His palm was filled with netherworld fire. In an instant, it turned into an incomparably sharp blade light. The blade was unparalleled as it slashed toward Ling Xiao's neck. This blade seemed to have split the heavens and earth and destroyed the chaos. It contained the supreme imperial might. Netherworld Fire Divine Blade. After the dazzling blade light, a mysterious figure vaguely appeared. It was ancient, mysterious, vast and majestic. It was like the Lord of the Netherworld who had buried the heavens. It brought with it an endless aura of death and destruction. Boom. Ling Xiao's indestructible primordial spirit bloomed with dazzling light in an instant. Like a devouring vortex, it appeared and swallowed the divine sound. Ling Xiao's eyes instantly became as sharp as a sword. Then he threw out a punch. Chaotic light rose above the fist's light. It was as if a vast river of time had appeared and covered the heavens. Ling Xiao controlled the great Tao of chaos and the great Tao of time at the same time. It was as if the origin of the two great Taos had completely merged into one in his punch. Then it collided with the netherworld fire divine blade. Crack! The unparalleled fist print destroyed everything. The netherworld fire divine blade suddenly exploded. The blade light that filled the sky instantly turned into nothingness. The punch landed on Yuming's chest and made a muffled sound. It directly sent Yuming flying. Yuming's figure drifted back. The destructive power of the unparalleled fist print was quickly dissolved by him. However, a supreme origin energy still poured into his body, causing his body to tremble. A trace of blood flowed out from the corner of his mouth. Your body has the aura of several great Tao origins. Now you even have the chaos origin and the time origin. Are you a robber? No, you don't have the aura of a robber. Which path have you taken? I really don't know if I should admire your courage or laugh at your ignorance. Yuming laughed loudly. His eyes were filled with indifference. There was a faint mocking smile at the corner of his mouth. It was as if he had seen the biggest joke in the world. Which path? What do you know? Ling Xiao asked indifferently. His eyes were incomparably calm. The path of 10,000 Daos as one. Yuming said indifferently. The mocking look in his eyes became even more intense. It seems that you are really ignorant. The ignorant are fearless. The path of 10,000 Daos as one is indeed extremely powerful. It can even be said to be unprecedented. However, for countless eras, the blood of countless geniuses has been shed. Even the fall of great emperors has proven that this is a dead end. Even if you are a robber who has merged with countless great Tao origins, you will only be making a wedding dress for others. Moreover, the so-called robber master will most likely fail in the end. I didn't expect that you would also take this path. It seems that I have overestimated you. Yuming sneered. It was as if he was deliberately explaining for Ling Xiao. He actually stopped attacking for a moment. You also know about the path of 10,000 Daos as one? However, how do you know whether it is a dead end or not? If you haven't set foot on the peak, you can only say that you are not strong enough. There are thousands of great Daos. Who can say that one's Tao is definitely right? Ling Xiao said indifferently as if he was not moved at all. You really won't give up until all hope is gone. Why do you think so many great emperors with 3,000 great Daos can only integrate with one Tao? Because those who try to integrate with the second Tao are already dead, not to mention integrating with 10,000 Daos as one. Since ancient times, no one has been able to do it. Whether it is a dead end or not, you will know when you continue on. To think that I overestimated you. It seems that you are just an ignorant fool. I am too lazy to talk nonsense with you. Hand over the yin-yang pearl, and let me refine you into the netherworld sacred corpse. Then, you will suffer less. Otherwise, you will never know how terrifying my means are. Yuming sneered. His eyes were filled with cold killing intent. His previous attack was just to test Ling Xiao. Now that he saw that Ling Xiao was just an idiot who had embarked on the path of 10,000 Daos as one, he naturally couldn't be bothered to test him anymore. If he chose to integrate with 10,000 Daos, he would not even be able to obtain the opportunity to become an emperor, let alone reach the end. He would be abandoned by heaven and earth. Such a person was destined to have no future. It seems that I have overestimated this kid. My opponents are only Sakura, Hongtian, and Rulai. Yuming thought in his heart. Yuming's words made the old goat, Taoist Wuliang, Yi Liangchen, and the others' faces change. 10,000 Daos as one. Ling Xiao is actually on the path of 10,000 Daos as one? No wonder he needs so many origin Dao fruits. I thought he was comprehending the origin Dao fruits to condense his own origin. How can he walk on such a path? Taoist Wuliang had been calm and collected. However, after hearing the conversation between Yuming and Ling Xiao, his face instantly became extremely anxious. 10,000 Daos as one? This is indeed a dead end. For 108 eras, countless geniuses and even peerless great emperors have failed. There are no exceptions. Yi Liangchen said with a bitter smile. Choosing the path of 10,000 Daos, as one means that you have chosen to reject the heavenly Tao and walk on the path of using yourself as the foundation. From then on, you will be abandoned by the heavenly Tao. The further you go, the greater the rejection from the heavenly Tao. Taoist Wuliang said with a bitter smile. Now it was too late to persuade Ling Xiao. His Tao was set. Unless he destroyed his own Tao foundation and started from scratch, it was almost impossible. After hearing Taoist Wuliang and Yi Liangchen's explanation, the old goat was extremely anxious. The white dragon horse and Kuan Peng looked at each other. They must have never heard of something as secretive as 10,000 Daos as one. Only those powerful inheritances had records of 10,000 Daos as one. What are you afraid of? Even if everyone else fails, maybe Ling Xiao will succeed? The old goat suppressed the worry in his heart and said with a lack of confidence. That's right. I also think that this guy can't be judged by common sense. Kuan Peng and the white dragon horse nodded in agreement. You mean? Whether or not my Tao is a dead end, why should I care about others' opinions? You have cultivated to this level, but you still don't understand this principle. Just based on what you've said, it's enough to make me look down on you. If you want the Yin Yang Pearl, we'll have to see if you have the ability to do so. Ling Xiao said indifferently as he walked towards Yu Ming. His heart was as firm as steel. Since he had chosen his path, he would only care about moving forward and never retreat. So what if it's a dead end? If it's a dead end, then I'll cut through all obstacles and create a path that belongs to me. Ling Xiao. Rumble. Third sect leader. Chapter 3272. Ling Xiao's eyes shone brightly as his qi and blood soared. The chaotic light behind him opened up 3,000 worlds, pushing the sun, moon and stars as he moved. His invincible aura made everyone dazed as if they saw a supreme great emperor walking out from the chaos. His essence, qi and spirit rose to the extreme. His steps were firm as they shook the void. It was like the might of thunder that swept out in all directions. Ling Xiao wasn't affected by Yu Ming's words at all. Instead, Yu Ming's words made him feel extremely proud. Yu Ming, take my epic fist. Ling Xiao's voice shook the primal chaos, accompanied by an extremely dazzling fist print that came crashing down on the underworld. The epic fist was a supreme fist technique created by Ling Xiao. It nurtured hundreds of scriptures and merged thousands of techniques. It was a peerless killing fist that could pierce through the chaos and destroy the epic. As Ling Xiao's cultivation improved, he began to comprehend thousands of great Tao origins. This allowed the epic fist, which was originally a little rough, to display its supreme power. The epic fist pressed down as if 3,000 great Taos had gathered at the same time. Thousands of worlds were destroyed at the same time. This fist passed through the river of time of 108 epochs. It contained an extremely terrifying foundation as it fell down majestically. Kill. Yu Ming's eyes were filled with monstrous killing intent, as if he had no intention of testing Ling Xiao's strength. The terrifying aura around him increased exponentially. Endless netherworld divine light swept across the heavens and earth, turning into a terrifying figure that pierced through the heavens and earth. It faced Ling Xiao's fist. Yu Ming world suppressing fist. It was also a supreme fist technique created by Yu Ming. Together with his physical body and Tao spirit, this pure killing fist technique exploded with earth-shattering power. Rumble. Yu Ming soared through the sky as he charged towards Ling Xiao. In an instant he blasted out over 10,000 punches. Every single punch contained the strength to kill a 9th-level imperial monarch. They blotted out the sky as they descended. They were like a group of demons dancing about, and they intended to annihilate all living beings. The two supreme fist marks collided in the void. Kacha. In the chaos, an extremely bright light exploded. It was as if the heavens and earth were destroyed. The sun and moon rose, accompanied by the terrifying sound of thunder. The chaotic light and killing intent that filled the sky merged together and rose to the extreme in an instant. Bang! Bang! Ling Xiao and Yu Ming actually chose to take each other's punches head-on. Then, their unparalleled fists smashed into each other's chests. Die! Yu Ming's eyes were filled with monstrous killing intent. His face was extremely ferocious. The netherworld world-suppressing killing fist contained a great amount of divine power. It was an ultimate killing fist. When it hit Ling Xiao's chest, it broke through Ling Xiao's physical defense and blasted towards his heart. That was where the source of life was located. This punch was going to destroy all of Ling Xiao's life force. Ling Xiao's epical fist landed on Yu Ming's chest. It was filled with an ethereal aura as it silently penetrated Yu Ming's chest. Netherworld's unparalleled physical body was actually like paper under this punch, and an enormous bloody hole appeared. Rumble! A terrifying and blazing light burst forth, instantly enveloping Ling Xiao and Yu Ming. Ling Xiao and Yu Ming groaned at the same time as blood flowed out from the corners of their mouths. However, the difference was that Ling Xiao's physical body was as tough as diamond and indestructible. Yu Ming's punch only broke his skin and flesh. The killing intent surged and shook Ling Xiao's internal organs. However, it did not break Ling Xiao's bones. After that, it was blasted away by a powerful force. On the other hand, Ling Xiao had penetrated Yu Ming's chest. Moreover, an extremely terrifying epical force raged and raged, constantly destroying Yu Ming's life force. Dense cracks appeared all over Yu Ming's body. Netherworld heaven-devouring cauldron refine. Yu Ming's face was extremely ferocious. Terrifying killing intent rose around him as he suddenly shouted, "Rumble!" Terrifying flames of the underworld surged around him, and instantly turned into a three-legged, two-eared cauldron. It was ancient and majestic, and it enveloped Ling Xiao. Endless flames of the underworld enveloped Ling Xiao, and began to refine him. "Ling Xiao, I said that you must die today. No one can save you." Yu Ming's voice was extremely cold. Rumble! Two extremely terrifying auras rose from Yu Ming's body. In an instant, two figures that pierced through the heavens and earth appeared behind him. One emitted powerful primordial spirit light, and was mysterious. The other emitted endless netherworld origin, as if it was the embodiment of the heavenly way. What? Yu Ming has condensed three great principal spirits. Taoist Wuyang's body trembled, and his eyes were filled with disbelief. The two figures were the primordial spirit Dao spirit, and the origin Dao spirit. In addition to the physical body Dao spirit, Yu Ming had already condensed three great principal spirits. Such aptitude and talent could be said to be extremely heaven-defying. The three great principal spirits sat cross-legged in the void. At the same time, a dazzling light gushed out from them, and supported the netherworld heaven-devouring cauldron. They activated the netherworld flames and began to refine Ling Xiao. Although Yu Ming's body was penetrated by Ling Xiao's arm, divine order chains extended from his body and shackled Ling Xiao's arm and body, making it impossible for him to escape. The terrifying aura that erupted from the three great principal spirits made everyone's heart palpitate. Their faces were extremely pale, as if they were facing a supreme emperor. The netherworld flames became incomparably illusory. It could even refine the chaotic qi directly. Ling Xiao, who was trapped in it, seemed to be burned by the black flames. Damn it! Quickly save Ling Xiao. Yu Ming is too strong. The old goat's eyes were filled with anxiety. The heaven-devouring array disk bloomed with dazzling light. In an instant, it came across the sky and wanted to suppress Yu Ming. How dare you! A violent roar rang out. The eyes of the dozen followers of Yu Ming flashed with killing intent as they unleashed powerful attacks. Rumble! The blazing torrent came across the sky. The attacks of the dozen peerless emperors directly blasted the heaven-devouring array disk back. All of you better behave yourselves. When Lord Yu Ming kills Ling Xiao, he will naturally take care of all of you. If you don't know what's good for you, you will die without a burial place now. A powerful follower said coldly. His eyes were filled with killing intent. They did not receive Yu Ming's order, so they did not attack the old goat and the others. However, it did not mean that they would not attack. Once the old goat and the others made any strange moves, they would not hesitate to suppress them. Just with the likes of you? The old goat sneered. His eyes were extremely cold. The devouring sky array disk trembled slightly in the void. Runes fell down one after another, as if it was setting up a formation, enveloping the entire primal chaos void. Ignorant fool. Since you want to die so much, I will fulfill your wish. The eyes of the dozen powerful followers turned cold. The terrifying aura around them boiled like a volcano, as if they were going to attack at any time. What is that? Suddenly, someone exclaimed in surprise. Rumble. In the void, the netherworld heaven-devouring cauldron was sucking Ling Xiao into it. The netherworld flame was spreading, wanting to refine Ling Xiao. However, an incomparably vast and terrifying aura suddenly erupted from Ling Xiao's body. The vast and boundless devouring sacred domain emerged from the chaos. Yu Ming and the three Dao spirits were all enveloped by the heaven-devouring sacred domain. Since you know that I am walking the path of 10,000 Dao as one, you still want to refine me? Idiot! Ling Xiao's indifferent voice rang in the void. Rumble. Stars seemed to light up around Ling Xiao. Vast origin energy rose like divine chains of order, locking Yu Ming and the three Dao spirits in it. A vast and majestic devouring power erupted, and a chaotic flame rose, wanting to burn Underworld and the three great path spirits into ashes. In Ling Xiao's primordial spirit, 2,000 origin Dao fruits bloomed with dazzling light. They were as bright and eternal as stars. That's right. After refining the 1,000 origin Dao fruits he'd obtained from Zhou Rulong, the number of origin Dao fruits in Ling Xiao's body had reached a shocking 2,000. 2,000 origin Dao fruits gathered, causing Ling Xiao's body to shine brilliantly. It was as if he was a Dao body condensed from origin energy, containing boundless and terrifying power. Yu Ming had been testing him earlier. Wasn't Ling Xiao stalling for time? Now that he'd completely refined the origin Dao fruits, he could finally unleash all of his power to suppress Yu Ming. 2,000 origin Dao fruits. How is that possible? How can your body contain so many origin Dao fruits and not explode? I know. You also have the support of a chaos treasure. Yu Ming's body trembled. His eyes were filled with disbelief as he exclaimed. Suddenly he seemed to have thought of something, and his eyes instantly became blazing hot. Chaos treasure. After obtaining the primordial bead, Yu Ming knew how terrifying and powerful chaos treasures were. They were born at the beginning of the chaos, and were beyond the great Tao of heaven and earth. They were terrifying treasures that could even kill great emperors. The 10 chaos treasures of heaven and earth were all extremely heaven-defying treasures. If he hadn't obtained the primordial bead, he wouldn't have been able to become a 6th ultimate king. However, the primordial bead seemed to have been severely damaged. Even now, it hadn't been completely restored. He'd gone to great lengths to nurture the yin-yang bead, in order to repair the primordial bead. Kill. Ling Xiao's eyes were incomparably cold. He had no intention of responding to Yu Ming. As he used the devouring sacred domain to suppress and refine Yu Ming, he threw a punch at Yu Ming. The unparalleled fist mark was like a vast starry sky. It contained the mysterious power of 2,000 origin Dao fruits. This was the fist of creation. It contained the supreme power to split heaven and earth. It contained the mysteries of life. It was nurtured by the great Dao origin. 3,000 great Daos combined into one. It was the most powerful fist technique that could erupt. The power of 2,000 origin Dao fruits gathered on this punch. The terrifying power that erupted from it made Yu Ming's heart palpitate. Primordial bead break? Yu Ming didn't dare to be careless. Even though he believed that Ling Xiao's path of unification was a dead end, he couldn't deny Ling Xiao's current strength. A purple bead flew out from Yu Ming's palm. It was like a purple sun. In an instant, it bloomed with incomparably dazzling brilliance. The chaos treasure, the primordial bead, the powerful devouring heaven's sacred domain shattered like a mirror. As the primordial bead vibrated, it seemed like an endless world was opening up. It was extremely mysterious and unfathomable. Moreover, it suppressed Ling Xiao at an extremely fast speed. As soon as the primordial bead appeared, it was as if the chaos began to boil violently. Even the endless void was trembling. A sharp light flashed in Ling Xiao's eyes. The wordless heavenly book shot out from between his brows and collided with the primordial bead. Rumble. The two chaos treasures crushed everything in their path, causing the chaos in all directions to break apart and fly toward the endless void. The wordless heavenly book, the chaos treasure? You really have a great fortune. Yu Ming's eyes were filled with a cold sneer. You too. Ling Xiao responded nonchalantly. At this moment, The three figures who were watching the battle between Ling Xiao and Nether above the boundless void were also shocked. The Chaos Treasures, the wordless heavenly book and the primordial bead? No wonder Ling Xiao and Yu Ming are so powerful. With these two Chaos Treasures protecting them, it'll be difficult for the three of us to do anything to them. Fortunately, we were cautious and didn't make a move. What do we do now? Once they're both injured and someone else obtains the two Chaos Treasures, we'll still be no match for them. That Ling Xiao walks the path of 10,000 Dao as one? 2,000 origin Dao fruits, TSK. Only the Tribulation Lord can match that, right? Thoughts intertwined in the three figures' minds, their eyes shining with incomparable greed and fervor. Whether it was the two Chaos Treasures or Ling Xiao's 2,000 origin Dao fruits, they were all very tempting. Oh no! We've been discovered. One of the figures suddenly cried out in alarm. Rumble. The wordless heavenly book and the primordial bead seemed to possess the supreme power to suppress the chaos and destroy the void. After colliding, they flew toward the chaos simultaneously. Their targets were the three of them. They'd been discovered. Damn it. Let's get out of here. Shock and anger flashed across their faces, and they wanted to quickly teleport away. But it was too late. Locked on by the two Chaos Treasures, they had no chance of escaping. All they could do was take the attacks head-on. Rumble. Their faces twisted with madness and ferocity. Terrifying auras rose around them, causing the void around them to tremble violently. Origin Dao fruits spread out and formed powerful barriers in front of the two Chaos Treasures. Crack! The wordless heavenly book and the primordial bead came crashing down, shattering the barriers like they were made of paper. The two Chaos Treasures slammed into the three of them, causing them to cry out in pain. Then they fell from the void. Robbers. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he sensed the auras of the three of them. They were all robbers. Trash. Ants, how dare you try to be a fisherman? If you want to use me, you'll have to be prepared to die. Yu Ming sneered. The primordial bead was like a purple immortal realm that came crashing down on the three figures. Chapter 3273. Rumble. The three robbers trembled violently as blood spurted out from their mouths. Although they tried their best to resist, they were still sent flying by the Hongmeng bead. Ling Xiao and Yu Ming had discovered these three robbers long ago. This time they attacked them at the same time, intending to kill these three robbers once and for all. After all, Ling Xiao and Yu Ming could not tolerate the fact that there were a few people who wanted to take advantage of the situation. Zhongsun Huangqi Zhao Kun. Why are you guys here? Zhou Yuan suddenly exclaimed as his eyes were filled with disbelief. The three figures fell in front of everyone. They were middle-aged men in black robes. Their auras were powerful and unfathomable. All of them were at the ninth heaven of the Imperial Emperor realm. Young Master Ling Xiao, the three of them are the clan leaders of the three major clans. I didn't expect them to be robbers. Zhou Yuan explained the identities of the three men to Ling Xiao. There were 12 ancient clans in the 12 imperial cities. The three men were the clan leaders of the three ancient clans. They were quite familiar with Zhou Yuan. Rumble. Ling Xiao's eyes were cold as killing intent filled the air around him. He locked onto the three robbers. The Hongmeng bead in Yu Ming's hand shone brightly as killing intent rose. He was ready to attack at any time. Being targeted by Ling Xiao and Netherworld at the same time, the faces of the three robbers instantly turned ghastly pale. They had screwed up. The same thought appeared in their minds. They had planned to let Ling Xiao and Yu Ming suffer, so that they could take advantage of the situation. However, they had not expected to be discovered. Ling Xiao and Yu Ming's strength was extremely terrifying. Although the three robbers were also very strong, they were naturally no match for Ling Xiao and Yu Ming. Stop. How dare you attack us? Aren't you afraid that the Tribulation Lord will come and kill all of you? Zhang Sen roared in a threatening manner, while cowardly at heart. Tribulation Lord? I'm really curious. Who is the Tribulation Lord that you're talking about? However, if he doesn't come out, the three of you will really die. Ling Xiao said faintly. His eyes shone with a bright light. He was determined to get his hands on these three robbers. The robber hated him to the bone and wanted to kill him. How could he not want to kill the robber? After all, in Ling Xiao's opinion, These robbers were just perfect origin source Dao fruits. If he could kill these 3 robbers and even the legendary Tribulation Lord, perhaps Ling Xiao would really be able to gather all 3,000 Dao origins. At that time, with 3,000 great Dao origins in his body, Ling Xiao might have a chance to touch the ultimate realm. Tribulation Master? I'm afraid he won't be able to save your lives in time. How dare you make use of me? Go to hell. Yoming's eyes were filled with cruel killing intent. Netherworld flames rose around him as he slammed his palm down on the 3 robbers. Rumble. But right at this moment, a dazzling and resplendent ray of light soared through the sky like a fierce sword, and it instantly collided with Yuming's palm. The void trembled as the blazing light was quickly annihilated. The destructive power contained in Yuming's palm was instantly neutralized by the sword light. Yuming, why don't we work together for once? An indifferent and ethereal voice rang out. Resplendent light seemed to sprinkle down from the void as a figure shrouded in a white robe appeared in the void. Clouds and mist swirled around him, and the light was dazzling. His face could not be seen clearly, but his eyes were brighter than the stars. His voice was clear, ethereal, and otherworldly. It was like the sound of Tao, making it difficult to distinguish whether he was a man or a woman. But Ling Xiao and Yuming could not help but be shocked as the identity of the newcomer emerged. Tribulation Master. The master of all the robbers. The most mysterious person on the Eternal Emperor Road. As soon as the Tribulation Master appeared, Ling Xiao and Yuming felt a strong sense of threat in their hearts. This Tribulation Master's strength was extremely strong. How do we work together? Yuming stared at the Tribulation Master and said coldly, You and I both want Ling Xiao's life, but we want different things. Why don't we work together and kill Ling Xiao? The textless Heavenly Book and Yin Yang Pearl will belong to you, and the rest will belong to me. What do you think? The Tribulation Master said indifferently. What do you think? After hearing the Tribulation Master's words, the old goat, Taoist Wuliang, and the others immediately looked extremely vigilant and worried. Yuming's strength was incomparably terrifying, and with the help of an unfathomable Tribulation Master, would Ling Xiao be a match for them? The Great Tribulation Master is actually afraid of Ling Xiao? Yuming's eyes revealed a trace of mockery. If this Tribulation Master had absolute confidence that he could kill Ling Xiao, why would he work with him? He would have attacked long ago, right? It's not fear, it's to ensure that we can kill him. You should already have a deep understanding of his strength. You won't be able to kill him with just your strength alone. The Tribulation Master said calmly. I say, the 2 of you are talking about killing me together in front of me. Aren't you looking down on me? Ling Xiao looked at the Tribulation Master, and Yuming in front of him, and smiled indifferently. Yuming ignored Ling Xiao and pondered for a moment before saying, All right. As you said, after killing Ling Xiao, the wordless Heavenly Book and the Yin Yang Pearl will belong to me. The rest will belong to you. To Yuming, the Yin Yang Pearl was naturally the most important. The wordless Heavenly Book was secondary. Moreover, he did realize that with his strength, he was not confident that he could kill Ling Xiao. Smart. The Tribulation Master smiled indifferently. He then turned his head and his gaze fell on Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao, although your combat strength is very strong, you should know that you can't deal with both of us at the same time. You'll definitely lose. If you surrender now, you might be able to keep your life. What do you think? The Tribulation Master said indifferently. With just the 2 of you. Ling Xiao laughed coldly. An unparalleled sharpness instantly appeared in his eyes, and a monstrous aura rose. Sneaky scoundrels, if you want to take my life, let's see if you have the ability to do so. Come at me together. I, Ling Xiao, have nothing to fear. Rumble. His voice was like thunder, exploding in the void. As soon as Ling Xiao finished speaking, a dazzling light rose from his body. Then he threw a punch at the Tribulation Master. The epic fist pierced through the heavens, containing the vast power of an epic. It seemed to be able to destroy everything. With an unparalleled force, it suppressed the Tribulation Master. Since you're courting death, don't blame me. The Tribulation Master said indifferently. He took a step forward, and his aura instantly disappeared into the void. He had actually disappeared just like that when Ling Xiao's epic fist locked onto him. However, in the next moment, Ling Xiao felt a fatal danger coming from behind him. A dazzling sword light silently broke through the void and headed for his neck. The white divine rainbow's light was extremely condensed. The murderous intent was also extremely condensed. It wanted to cut off Ling Xiao's head with one strike. The Tribulation Master's figure silently appeared behind Ling Xiao. Rumble. At the same time, the murderous intent in Yu Ming's eyes surged. In an instant, he flew across the sky and threw out a punch. Endless netherworld divine light suppressed Ling Xiao like hell. The two supreme experts attacked Ling Xiao at the same time. It was an instant killing move. Ling Xiao's expression was indifferent. His body swayed slightly, leaving behind an afterimage on the spot. He also disappeared into the void. In the next moment, the epic fist changed direction. With an invincible force, it collided with Yu Ming and sent him flying. At the same time, Ling Xiao pointed his finger like a sword. A dazzling epic river swept across the sky. The dazzling finger light contained the power of an epic. It pointed at the Tribulation Master's glabella, as if it did not care about the Tribulation Master's sword light at all. It was a battle of life and death. Moreover, it happened in an instant and was extremely tragic. Ling Xiao controlled the power of time and space. Even though the Tribulation Master's cultivation was extraordinary, he was still affected. Ling Xiao's finger instantly hit the Tribulation Master's glabella. Buzz. Ripples appeared in the void. The Tribulation Master's glabella shone with a dazzling light. A powerful origin energy gushed out. It contained a terrifying rebounding force and blocked Ling Xiao's finger attack. The Tribulation Master's sword light also landed on Ling Xiao's neck. Clang. Sparks flew in all directions. Dragon scales appeared on Ling Xiao's neck. They emitted an immortal light and blocked the sword light. At the same time, Ling Xiao rose into the sky like a spinning top and kicked the Tribulation Master's chest. Rumble. The Tribulation Master and Yu Ming immediately chased after him. The three of them collided like a torrent and exploded with dazzling light. While Ling Xiao, the Tribulation Master, and Yu Ming were fighting, Yu Ming's followers Zhang Sun and the other Tribulation Masters looked at each other. Cold killing intent flashed in their eyes. Kill. They roared at the same time. Then they charged toward the old goat and Taoist Wuliang. They wanted to kill them all. Zhou Yuan and Zhou Zixu, in particular, were besieged by Zhang Sun and the other Tribulation Masters. Get close to me. Don't fight. The old goat roared. The devouring array disc spun and floated in the air. Dazzling runes sprinkled down and enveloped everyone. The runes intertwined with each other and a vast and ancient aura exploded. A devouring array disc instantly appeared around everyone. Kill. Taoist Wuliang's eyes flashed with killing intent. The horsetail whisk in his hand soared into the air. 3,000 threads intertwined and wrapped around one of Yu Ming's followers in an instant. Yi Liangchen, Kuan-peng, and the white dragon horse instantly unleashed their extreme speed. Dazzling lights fell from the sky. Their attacks were violent and explosive. Before the follower could even react, he died under the torrential attacks of the three of them. Zhou Yuan's eyes were filled with madness and despair. He shielded Zhou Zixu behind him. A terrifying aura rose around him. His life force origin began to burn as he charged toward Zhang Sun and the other two Tribulation Masters. Zhou Yuan, you really don't know what's good for you. Since that's the case, we'll fulfill your wish. Zhang Sun and the other two Tribulation Masters' eyes were cold. Their killing intent surged as rays of sharp light shrouded Zhou Yuan. Soon Zhou Yuan was injured. His body was covered with wounds. He seemed to have gone mad as he roared furiously. However, it was difficult for him to survive alone. Grandfather. Zhou Zixu's eyes were filled with grief. Her eyes were red. She tried her best to attack, but she was no match for the three Tribulation Masters. Although the old goat had set up the array with the devouring array disc, they were still at a disadvantage in the battle. Swoosh. Suddenly, a dazzling sword light swept across the sky. In an instant, it pierced through hundreds of millions of miles of the void. It was extremely sharp and dazzling. A ninth heaven Imperial Emperor expert was unable to resist at all. The sword light pierced through his forehead. His indestructible primordial spirit was instantly shattered and he died. A figure in a black robe stepped forward. His body was exuding sword intent that shot up to the sky. It's Dugachiobai. The old goat's body trembled. Immediately his eyes were filled with joy. Trying to bully us with numbers? A bunch of shameless dogs. Come and take my sword. Accompanied by a cold and arrogant voice, another vast sword light descended. It was as unfathomable as the might of the heavens. Zhao Ritian, who was riding on the three-legged golden crow, was dressed in golden armor. He held the heavenly Tao Emperor sword in his hand. His aura was vast and unparalleled. Similarly, he killed a ninth heaven Imperial Emperor expert with a swing of his sword. Kill. The third roar was heard. Accompanied by demonic light that filled the sky, an unparalleled fist print descended. It contained blazing chaotic divine light. It directly pierced through the chest of a genius trial taker and blasted him into a bloody mist. Bathed in the bloody light, darkness Ling Zhao's eyes were cold. He stepped through the void like a peerless demon. His aura was extremely terrifying. Dugachiobai, Zhao Ritian, and Darkness Ling Xiao had arrived together. Seeing the three of them, the old goat and the others were extremely excited and agitated. They immediately calmed down. Quickly go and help Ling Xiao. He's being attacked by the shameless tribulation masters and Yu Ming. The old goat said anxiously. Don't worry. Leave it to me, Zhao Ritian. Today, I, Zhao Ritian, will go on a killing spree. Zhao Ritian laughed arrogantly. He turned around and slashed at Yu Ming with his sword. His aura was extremely terrifying. His cultivation had already reached the ninth heaven of the Imperial Emperor realm. Compared to the eighth heaven of the Imperial Emperor realm, it was as if he had been reborn. There was a terrifying emperor's aura around him. He was extremely powerful like a great emperor. Senior Dugu, I'll leave it to you. Darkness Ling Xiao said. His eyes were filled with bloodlust and cruelty. Chaotic demonic chi gathered on his arm. He then punched at the tribulation masters. Seeing Zhao Ritian and Darkness Ling Xiao running away and leaving the bunch of trash to him, Dugachiobai shook his head and smiled faintly. He was not bothered. He held his sword and charged at the followers of Yu Ming and the three robbers. With Dugachiobai joining the battle, the situation was instantly reversed. Wherever the sword chi went, it was as if chaos had been destroyed and an era had been reborn. Life and destruction coexisted. Powerful challengers were constantly falling at the hands of Dugachiobai. Dugachiobai's aura was so strong that it made the followers of Nether and the three robbers put on a serious look. Let's attack together and kill him first. All of them sensed a great threat and roared at the same time. Then they surrounded Dugachiobai and charged at him. The peak. Chapter 3274. Rumble. Zhao Ritian's heavenly Tao Emperor sword emitted a dazzling radiance. Sword chi swept across 1,000,000 miles and slashed the nether flame into nothingness. Zhao Ritian and Yu Ming clashed head-on. The sword chi and fist radiance exploded, and both of them were sent flying. Nether Ling Xiao's fist imprint was unparalleled. It contained chaotic demonic light and emitted an immortal luster. Like a prison, it enveloped the Tribulation Lord. A cold light flashed in the Tribulation Lord's eyes. He struck out with his palm, and an explosion sounded in the void. The demonic light that filled the sky was destroyed at the same time. Nether Ling Xiao was sent flying by his palm, and he was completely exposed to Nether Ling Xiao's epic fist. Kacha. The epic fist pierced through space and landed on the Tribulation Lord's chest. The Tribulation Lord's body shone with a dazzling radiance. His white robe trembled slightly, and in an instant he dispersed the force of the punch. Then he drifted backwards. Nether Ling Xiao and the Tribulation Lord's eyes were filled with vigilance. Zhao Ritian and Nether Ling Xiao looked like they were only at the ninth heaven of the Imperial Emperor realm. However, their strength was extremely powerful. They were not at a disadvantage when compared to the two of them. Especially Zhao Ritian. There was an extremely vast and majestic emperor's aura that surged violently. Both Nether Ling Xiao and the Tribulation Lord could not help but be shocked. Who are you people? Nether Ling Xiao asked coldly. He was very familiar with the geniuses on the Dao affirmation list. However, he had never seen Zhao Ritian and Nether Lingxiao before him. I am the son of the Heavenly Emperor, Zhao Ritian. Nether Lingxiao and that sneaky scoundrel. How dare you hurt my brother? Do you want to die? Zhao Ritian laughed arrogantly. His eyes were filled with cold killing intent. He held the Heavenly Dao Emperor sword in his hand. His entire body seemed to have merged with the Heavenly Dao. Vast and mighty origin energy erupted. His aura was extremely terrifying. I am the Demon Master. Aren't the two of you a little too shameless? You are the Tribulation Lord. Your aura is very familiar. We should have met before, right? Nether Lingxiao sneered. His gaze was extremely deep as he stared at the Tribulation Lord. Demon Master? How arrogant. The Tribulation Master said indifferently. Devil Master, Brother Ritian, I'm sure both of you are curious about the true identity of this Tribulation Lord, right? He's a prodigy on the Dao confirmation list. You should all know that. Lingxiao suddenly smiled. His eyes were filled with a strange light. There seemed to be four mysterious rays of light intertwining in his eyes, converging into a mysterious beam of light that seemed to be able to see through everything. Even if the Tribulation Lord in front of him had disguised himself to a certain extent, there was still no way for him to hide from Ling Xiao's eye of domination. Ling Xiao already knew the true identity of this Tribulation Master. Who is it? Zhao Ritian asked curiously. The peerless genius of the Devil Realm. Ranked 10th on the Dao validation list, Wuxia Wushuang. Ling Xiao said indifferently, revealing the Demon Lord's identity with a single sentence. Wuxia Wushuang? His dark and piercing eyes instantly became incomparably cold, revealing a trace of ice-cold killing intent. This Wuxia Wushuang had previously sent people to subdue him, wanting him to become his follower. With dark Ling Xiao's vengeful nature, he had long wanted to find Wuxia Wushuang for revenge. He hadn't expected Wuxia Wushuang to be the legendary Tribulation Lord. Wuxia Wushuang? The one who lost to my father back then? He doesn't look like much. No wonder he's willing to be the Heavenly Dao's lackey and become a robber. Trash. Zhao Ritian sneered as well. All of you deserve to die. Killing intent flashed in the Tribulation Lord's eyes. Rumble. Blazing light flickered around him, and his white robes instantly disappeared. Demonic chi filled the air as he transformed into a young man in black armor. His eyes were incomparably cold and filled with killing intent. It was the Devil Realm's prodigy, Wuxia Wushuang. After Ling Xiao exposed his true identity, he decided not to disguise himself and revealed his true form. Rumble. Blazing light rose around the Tribulation Lord as if stars had gathered in his body, causing him to exude an incomparably terrifying aura of origin. Ling Xiao instantly sensed that this Tribulation Lord most likely had more than 2,000 origin Dao fruits. Ling Xiao, do you really think you'll win with their help? Since you don't know what's good for you, don't blame me. Yu Ming's eyes also revealed a monstrous killing intent. Netherworld divine corpses come out. Rumble. Blazing lightning flashed as the void trembled, and a monstrous murderous aura filled the air. As Yu Ming waved his sleeve, 36 figures with terrifying auras appeared around Ling Xiao, Zhao Ritian, and Dark Ling Xiao, shrouding all of them. They were 36 black netherworld divine corpses. Each of them was 6 feet tall, and had a pair of wings on their backs. They had green faces and fangs, and their bodies looked as if they were cast in bronze. They exuded an immortal luster, and a deathly aura filled the air as if it could devour all life. As soon as the 36 netherworld divine corpses appeared, the netherworld yellow springs surged, and a terrifying emperor's aura filled the air. A peerlessly powerful Supreme Emperor formation was instantly formed. Have a taste of my netherworld divine corpse formation. This was originally prepared for Sakura, Hong Tian, and Rulai. Since you don't know what's good for you, you can all die. Yu Ming's eyes were filled with killing intent as he said coldly, Rumble. As soon as he waved his hand, the surrounding chaos surged, and the netherworld yellow springs gushed out. The 36 netherworld divine corpses were hidden in the chaos, and they locked onto Ling Xiao, Zhao Ritian, and Dark Ling Xiao at the same time. Their auras skyrocketed. The netherworld divine corpses that were originally at the ninth heaven of the Imperial Emperor realm gradually possessed a trace of Emperor's aura, and it was extremely terrifying. These 36 netherworld divine corpses were all refined from the bodies of the peerless sky prides that Yu Ming had killed. The netherworld divine corpse formation formed between them was a flawless emperor formation. Yu Ming was confident that with the netherworld godly corpse grand formation, he would be able to fight even a supreme emperor. Kill. Ling Xiao, Zhao Ritian and Dark Ling Xiao looked at each other, and their eyes were filled with killing intent. They shouted at the same time, and charged towards the Tribulation Lord and Yu Ming. Ling Xiao already knew that Yu Ming was most likely an array emperor, so he was not surprised that he could set up the netherworld divine corpse formation. The netherworld divine corpse formation was Yu Ming's most powerful trump card. After all, Yu Ming claimed that the netherworld divine corpse formation could suppress Sakura, Hongtian and Tathagata. This showed how powerful the formation was. Ling Xiao, Zhao Ritian, and Dark Ling Xiao did not dare to be careless. As if they had discussed it beforehand, Zhao Ritian and Dark Ling Xiao charged towards the Tribulation Lord, leaving Yu Ming to Ling Xiao. Rumble. The aura around Ling Xiao rose, and an unparalleled aura burst out. The ultimate strength of his physical body was activated. He threw out a punch, and a netherworld divine corpse that rushed out from the chaos was sent flying by his punch. However, it was as if it had hit a metal wall, and a dull thud could be heard. The netherworld god's corpse roared angrily as if nothing had happened and charged toward Ling Xiao again. Once the netherworld divine corpse formation was formed, the netherworld divine fire burned the heavens and earth, and the yellow springs destroyed all life. The netherworld divine corpse could borrow the power of the netherworld, and its strength grew stronger as it charged towards Ling Xiao and the others. Rumble! 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 Ling Xiao threw out hundreds and thousands of punches in an instant. Each of his punches was powerful and contained the power of an epic. They collided with the netherworld divine corpse and sent them flying. At the same time, Ling Xiao's eyes shone with a strange light. It was majestic and mysterious. The eye of the ruler could see through everything. Although the netherworld divine corpse formation was powerful, it could not hide from Ling Xiao's eye of the ruler. Ling Xiao seemed to have seen through Yu Ming's true location, and he threw a punch at Yu Ming. What? Yu Ming, who was controlling the netherworld divine corpse grand formation, couldn't help but change his expression. This was a flawless emperor formation with unparalleled power. Logically speaking, it should be impossible for Ling Xiao to find his position, but Ling Xiao seemed to have seen through the netherworld divine corpse grand formation. Could it be that he is also a powerful array emperor? Yu Ming's heart was filled with doubts, and he threw a punch at Ling Xiao. Crack! The two fists collided, and the void trembled. Yu Ming suddenly retreated a few steps, but Ling Xiao did not retreat at all. Instead, he continued to press forward as if he was glued to Yu Ming. His eyes were filled with murderous intent, and a dazzling blade light pierced through the heavens and the earth. Oh no, it's the forbidden saber. Yu Ming's heart skipped a beat. Ling Xiao was guarding against him, but he was also guarding against Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao's Avicii infernal saber was a saber that could cut through the heart. It was extremely powerful, and Ju Wu Divine King and Saber Demon had died under it. It was known as the Saber of Transcendence, and its power was unpredictable. Even Yu Ming was wary of it. In an instant his blood and qi rose, and his origin surged. His indestructible primordial spirit shone brightly, and his mind was clear and perfect. He faced the incoming saber as if he was facing a great enemy. After all, although Yu Ming had condensed the Tao spirit of his physical body, origin and primordial spirit, he had not condensed the Tao spirit of his heart. His mind was his greatest weakness. The primordial pearl also shone with purple light, protecting his Tao heart. The black saber radiance was unpredictable, as if it had come from the underworld. It pierced through layers of the void and looked very illusory, but it instantly cut into Yu Ming's body. Yu Ming's indestructible primordial spirit sensed an intense danger, and it began to tremble violently. Even the primordial spirit behind Yu Ming seemed to have been cut by the saber radiance. Oh no! This is not the saber of heart, but the saber of God. Damn it! How can he comprehend two forbidden sabers at the same time? Disbelief filled Yu Ming's face. Although there were 4 forbidden sabers, no one had ever been able to comprehend 2 forbidden sabers at the same time. How did Ling Xiao do it? He did not have time to think. His indestructible primordial spirit and primordial spirit were hit by the saber of God, and they became extremely weak in an instant. Kill! Ling Xiao roared. Powerful and terrifying sound waves instantly invaded Yu Ming's primordial spirit and spiritual sea, causing his weakened indestructible primordial spirit to tremble slightly. Ling Xiao threw out a punch, and an unparalleled fist print slammed into Yu Ming's chest. In an instant, the origin energy gathered by 2,000 origin Dao fruits erupted at the same time, causing Ling Xiao's punch to become several times stronger. Even though Yu Ming's physical body was extremely strong, and he had already condensed a physical Dao spirit, he still could not withstand this punch. In an instant, blood filled the air as Ling Xiao's punch penetrated his body. Ling Xiao, get out of my way! Yu Ming roared. Killing intent boiled in his eyes, and 3 Dao spirits appeared behind him. At the same time, they burst out with a blazing light and charged toward Ling Xiao. The 36 Netherworld God corpses also burst out with the strongest Emperor's aura, and they pressed down on Ling Xiao. Rumble. The Hongming bead also burst out with dazzling rays of light as it slammed down on Ling Xiao. Yu Ming felt the threat of death, so he did not hesitate to unleash his strongest killing move in an attempt to kill Ling Xiao. Sword come! Ling Xiao roared and clenched his fist in the air. Suddenly, a blazing light rose, and a dazzling sword light pierced the clouds in all directions. The sky-devouring sword hummed like a heavenly pillar. In an instant, it fell from the sky and split into 4, forming a huge sword formation. The sky-reaching sword formation. The supreme killing sword formation left by the sky-reaching Great Emperor was also a flawless Emperor formation. In addition to the sky-devouring sword, a supreme sword weapon, it erupted in an instant. Endless sword chi rose and enveloped the 36 Netherworld God corpses. The wordless heavenly book and the fortune jade disc rose at the same time, blooming with a vast and dazzling light in the void. Divine chains of order wrapped around the Hongmeng bead, trapping it in the middle. The 3 chaos treasures erupted with the strongest divine aura in the void. Yu Ming, you can die now. Killing intent rose in Ling Xiao's eyes. His voice was like thunder, surging into Yu Ming's primordial spirit sea of consciousness. At the same time, Ling Xiao formed an invincible fist print with one hand. Chaotic light rose, and mysterious scenes of epics and creation and destruction appeared, blasting toward Yu Ming's head. Ling Xiao's other hand turned pitch black, and a blazing saber radiance appeared. A vast netherworld hell suppressed the world. The ancient and terrifying saber radiance pierced through time and space, breaking through reality and illusion, and became extremely dazzling in an instant. Rumble. Heaven-burying saber of Avicii hell. The saber of heart. The saber radiance slashed Yu Ming's body in an instant, merging into his body and going straight for his Dao heart. Ling Xiao had been waiting for this moment. Without the protection of the Netherworld God Corpse formation and the Hongming bead, Yu Ming's soul had not condensed a Dao spirit. Instead, it became his biggest weakness. In addition, he was frightened by Ling Xiao's hell-burying saber of Avicii hell. He could not dodge this attack at all. Crack. An incomparably crisp sound came from Yu Ming's body. Yu Ming felt that cracks had appeared in his Dao heart. Then, an infinite fear of Ling Xiao emerged from the depths of his heart. Boom. Ling Xiao's fierce and domineering punch, which contained infinite killing intent, blasted directly on Yu Ming's head. Blood filled the air, and Yu Ming's head instantly exploded. The apex. Chapter 3275. What? Everyone could not help but tremble. Their eyes were filled with disbelief. Especially Yu Ming's followers. They had never thought that the powerful Yu Ming would have his head smashed by Ling Xiao's fist. Yu Ming was defeated, and he was defeated so badly. 6 Ultimate Kings Yu Ming, who possessed the Netherworld Corpse formation, was extremely powerful. He could even compete with Sakura, Hong Tian, and Rulai. However, he was defeated by Ling Xiao. This Ling Xiao is actually so strong. Buoxuan Wushuang, who was being attacked by Zhao Ritian and Darkness Ling Xiao, could not help but narrow his eyes and reveal a tinge of fear. Ling Xiao stood in the air with chaotic light rising around him. His eyes were sharp and he exuded a vast and invincible aura. Buoxuan Wushuang vaguely felt like he was looking at that person from an epoch ago. Sky Emperor. The current Ling Xiao was too similar to the Sky Emperor of the past. They were both invincible, suppressing everything, creating various miracles, breaking through the extreme state and becoming an emperor. They were also named Tian. Sky Emperor, the Emperor of Heavenly Sovereigns. Could Ling Xiao reach that level as well? Ha! Buoxuan Wushuang, how dare you be distracted while fighting with us? Take my sword. Zhao Ritian laughed heartily as he felt extremely carefree. The Heavenly Tao Emperor sword in his hand shone with unparalleled sharpness as it pierced through the void. Rumble! Radiance fell from the sky as the void distorted. The powerful sword intent locked onto Buoxuan Wushuang and broke through his layers of defense before clashing with Buoxuan Wushuang's palm. Puff! Blood radiance filled the air as a huge bloody wound appeared on Buoxuan Wushuang's arm. He was almost cut off by the Heavenly Tao Emperor sword. Killing intent rose in Darkness Ling Xiao's eyes as he also came across the void. The unparalleled chaotic fist print landed on Buoxuan Wushuang's back and penetrated his body. Buoxuan Wushuang's body shook violently as he was sent flying. Due to the moment of distraction, Buoxuan Wushuang was instantly injured under the joint attack of Zhao Ritian and Darkness Ling Xiao. Kill! Zhao Ritian and Dark Ling Xiao exchanged glances with each other. Their eyes were filled with excitement and battle intent as they charged towards Buoxuan Wushuang. Ling Xiao had already heavily injured Netherworld. The two of them naturally wanted to slay Buoxuan Wushuang to establish their might. This was especially so for Zhao Ritian, who was already dissatisfied with Ling Xiao. Now that he had met the Sky Sovereign's enemy from the previous era, he was naturally excited. He wanted to kill Buoxuan Wushuang and prove his strength. Rumble! Netherworld Flame instantly rose around Netherworld Flame after his head was smashed by Ling Xiao. Vast and majestic life essence surged and quickly condensed into a new physical body. Ling Xiao, you deserve to die. Yu Ming's eyes were filled with shock and anger, as well as deep fear. He did not expect Ling Xiao to have two primal chaos treasures. Both the wordless heavenly book and the jade plate of good fortune were legendary treasures. With these two primal chaos treasures, the Hongming bead seemed to be imprisoned in the void, unable to move. As for the heavenly sword formation formed by Ling Xiao's sky-devouring sword, its sword aura spanned hundreds of millions of miles, its sharpness lasting for eternity. This made Yu Ming tremble with fear. This was definitely a sword formation created by a supreme great emperor. It was so fierce and terrifying that it actually trapped his 36 netherworld god corpses. The indestructible netherworld god corpses were damaged by the sky-devouring sword. At this rate, his netherworld god corpse formation would be completely destroyed when the sky-devouring sword killed all 36 netherworld god corpses. The current netherworld could be said to be caught in a dilemma. Ling Xiao's strength made him fearful. However, the Hongmeng bead and the netherworld god corpse formation's current state made it difficult for him to abandon them and leave. Both the Hongmeng bead and the netherworld god corpses were his life's work. They were treasures that he had accumulated over several eras. If he lost the Hongmeng bead and the netherworld god corpses, how could he compete with Sakura and the others? This was his opportunity to become an emperor. Once it was severed, there would be no hope for him to prove his Tao and become an emperor, let alone the secret of transcendence. Yu Ming, you talk too much. Ling Xiao said indifferently. His eyes were incomparably sharp as a vast aura spread out from his body. Then he threw a punch at Yu Ming. The situation before them was deliberately created by Ling Xiao. After forcing Yu Ming to use all his trump cards, he suppressed the Hongmeng bead and the netherworld god corpses with a thunderous force, making Yu Ming unable to advance or retreat. Only then did Ling Xiao attack and kill Yu Ming. Not to mention that Yu Ming was now severely injured and his Tao heart had been shattered by Ling Xiao. Rumble! Blazing light rose from the unparalleled fist mark, containing the power of an era's end as it pressed down on Yu Ming. The fist of the era shone brightly in Ling Xiao's hand, displaying an unparalleled power. Yu Ming was shocked and could not control his fear. Although he roared and used his netherworld origin power to resist, he was still sent flying by Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao, do you really think I'm afraid of you? Netherworld Corpse Emperor, kill him for me. Yu Ming's eyes revealed a trace of incomparable madness. Rumble. A huge ancient bronze coffin flew out from his sleeve, exuding a monstrous evil aura. The coffin lid opened, and a towering figure flew out. A mighty emperor aura swept out as if it could suppress the heavens and sweep away all enemies. It was as if an ancient emperor had descended into the world. It was extremely terrifying. What? This is the aura of a great emperor? Old Goat's body trembled, and his eyes were filled with incomparable shock. Everyone's gazes were all attracted by that figure. A pitch-black corpse flew out from the ancient bronze coffin. However, only the upper body was visible. It looked like a black-robed young man, but the lower body was cut in half. Half of the corpse. However, it was this half of the corpse that exuded a terrifying emperor aura that made everyone's heart tremble. They felt fear in the depths of their souls. That kind of feeling was like an ant looking up at a divine dragon. This is a great emperor's corpse? Daoist Wuliang also exclaimed, his voice trembling. That half of the corpse was an emperor's corpse. The invincible emperor aura did not seem fake at all. It meant that this was the innate power of this corpse. Even if it was dead, it was still extremely terrifying. Half of the emperor's corpse was refined into the netherworld corpse emperor by Yu Ming. Its aura was extremely terrifying. Its pair of emotionless eyes stared at Ling Xiao, causing Ling Xiao's heart to palpitate. Rumble. The netherworld corpse emperor threw a punch at Ling Xiao. It was a simple punch, as if it was a basic fist technique. There were no tricks, but it contained a vast emperor aura that swept across the sky. However, it was this extremely simple punch that gave Ling Xiao the feeling that he was unable to dodge or defend against it. Netherworld Corpse Emperor? It's just a corpse. Even if it's a living great emperor, what can it do? Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a trace of arrogance as he roared. His whole body bloomed with unparalleled sharpness. He had an invincible heart. Even the Netherworld Corpse Emperor could not make him feel any fear. Facing the Netherworld Corpse Emperor's punch, Ling Xiao also threw out a punch, brazenly meeting it. Rumble. The two fists collided in the void, causing the void to shake violently. An invisible wave spread out, and the chaotic mist disappeared. The unparalleled Emperor aura, accompanied by the power of the Netherworld Emperor fire, instantly invaded Ling Xiao's body. The flesh on Ling Xiao's fist instantly dissipated, leaving behind only the purple gold fist bone. However, neither Ling Xiao nor the Netherworld Corpse Emperor took a step back. It was a punch that was evenly matched. However, Ling Xiao knew that although his physical body was powerful, it was still inferior to the Netherworld Corpse Emperor, who had been tempered by Yu Ming. His flesh was eroded by the Emperor aura and dissipated instantly. Netherworld Corpse Emperor? You're just SO. Ling Xiao said indifferently, his expression unchanged. The chaotic light in his body gushed out, and the unparalleled fist intent burst out again, blasting the Netherworld Corpse Emperor back. Ling Xiao's body was invaded by the Emperor aura and the Netherworld Emperor fire, and he suffered serious injuries. However, his aura rose to the extreme. Everyone heaved a sigh of relief when they saw Ling Xiao withstanding the Nether Corpse Emperor's attack. After the Netherworld Corpse Emperor was repelled by Ling Xiao, he did not continue to attack Ling Xiao. Instead, he turned into a stream of light and flew towards the 36 Netherworld corpses. At the same time, the Netherworld Corpse Emperor let out an earth-shattering roar. Roar! The 36 Netherworld corpses shook at the same time, and a terrifying aura burst out from their bodies in an instant, converging with the Netherworld Corpse Emperor's power. Rumble! Sword Chi annihilated one after another. The Netherworld corpse's grand array seemed to have been strengthened by 100 times in an instant, exuding a terrifying aura. Roar! 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 The Netherworld corpses roared at the same time. In an instant, they broke free from the shackles of the Sword Chi, and then pounced towards Ling Xiao. The Netherworld Corpse Emperor, in particular, was extremely ferocious. The Emperor aura and the Netherworld Emperor fire could cause serious injuries to Ling Xiao. On the other hand, The Netherworld Corpse Emperor looked crazy as he pounced towards the Hongmeng bead. The Hongmeng bead was his foundation, and he must not lose it here. Rumble. Under the Netherworld Corpse Emperor's control, the Hongmeng bead bloomed with dazzling light, as if it wanted to break free from the imprisonment of the wordless heavenly book and the good fortune jade disc and fly back to the Netherworld Corpse Emperor's hand. The 36 Netherworld corpses, under the leadership of the Netherworld Corpse Emperor, also caused a lot of trouble for Ling Xiao. They were not afraid of death, especially the Netherworld Corpse Emperor. Wrapped in a vast Emperor aura, he kept attacking Ling Xiao's body, trying to destroy his vitality. Although my body is strong, it's still lacking compared to the Supreme Emperor, especially the Emperor's aura, which is the embodiment of the Great Tao. It can cause great harm to me. Ling Xiao thought to himself. Boom. His fists were like dragons, constantly blasting the Netherworld corpses away. Unparalleled fist intent swept out in all directions, like a river of stars, mighty and unparalleled. Roar. The Netherworld Corpse Emperor suddenly roared. After taking dozens of punches from Ling Xiao, he directly opened his arms and hugged Ling Xiao. Rumble. The Netherworld corpses seemed to have received some kind of order. Their eyes flashed with crazy killing intent, and they all pounced on Ling Xiao. Their aura instantly soared by dozens of times, and a tyrannical and terrifying aura suddenly burst out. Boom. One of the Netherworld corpses chose to self-destruct. Then the second Netherworld corpses, the third, the fourth Ling Xiao, who was imprisoned by the Netherworld Corpse Emperor, did not have time to break free and was drowned by the terrifying self-destruction. Rumble. How terrifying was the self-destruction of 36 Netherworld corpses. That was 36 peerless monarchs. When they attacked at the same time, their power was shocking. Even a Supreme Emperor would be severely injured. Oh no! Everyone's face changed drastically. Dark Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian immediately wanted to give up on Buoxu and Wushuang, and charge towards Netherworld to save Ling Xiao. We haven't settled our score yet. Buoxu and Wushuang sneered. Blazing light burst out from his body, turning into divine order chains, and shrouding Dark Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian. Demon descends all heaven's forbidden art. Buoxu and Wushuang performed a supreme forbidden art, and an unparalleled power burst out, trapping Dark Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian. There was no chance for them to save Ling Xiao. On the other side, the three robbers and many of Netherworld's followers were almost wiped out by Dugu Qiubai, the old goat and the others. They did not expect this to happen, and were simply too far away to help. Aha! Ling Xiao, let's see if you can survive this time. Netherworld roared crazily, and then suddenly grabbed at the Hongmeng bead. His heart was filled with anger and pain. The 36 Netherworld corpses were extremely powerful, and they were supreme treasures that he had spent countless eras to collect. As for the Netherworld Corpse Emperor, he had refined it for countless years, and now he had to give it all up in order to kill Ling Xiao. As long as I have the Yin Yang bead and these two chaos treasures, so what if all the Netherworld corpses are destroyed? Netherworld's eyes were filled with greed, and his hand instantly grabbed the Hongmeng bead. Rumble. Both he and the Hongmeng bead released a dazzling light at the same time, and an unparalleled purple aura rose, causing the wordless heavenly book and fortune jade disc to tremble violently. Netherworld grabbed the Hongmeng bead, and wanted to leave immediately. However, at that moment, the aura of the wordless heavenly book suddenly increased by 10 times, 100 times, and an ancient, boundless, mysterious, and majestic aura burst out. That aura could destroy heaven and earth, and it was as if it could even suppress a great emperor. It filled the chaotic void, and it was extremely terrifying. The wordless heavenly book slowly opened, and golden runes shot out. In an instant, they gathered around Netherworld, like a prison of heaven and earth, and trapped him within. This is the aura of an artifact spirit. How is this possible? The artifact spirits of the 10 chaos treasures have long dissipated. How can the wordless heavenly book still have an artifact spirit? Yu Ming roared angrily, his eyes filled with disbelief. Chapter 3276. The 10 chaos treasures had lost their weapon spirits due to some special reason in the ancient times. When the legendary 10 chaos treasures had a weapon spirit, They could unleash supreme power that could destroy the heavens and earth. They could even kill a supreme emperor. However, after losing their weapon spirits, although the chaos treasures were still incomparably powerful, they were only slightly stronger than an apex emperor weapon. They had lost the power to destroy everything. Now Netherworld actually felt the aura of a weapon spirit from the wordless heavenly book. Under the control of the weapon spirit, the wordless heavenly book's aura skyrocketed countless times. It became ancient, mysterious, and majestic. The terrifying fluctuations made Netherworld tremble and palpitate. The wordless heavenly book scattered golden runes and ancient characters. They were all formed by supreme secret techniques. They formed a huge prison of heaven and earth, trapping Netherworld inside. Rumble. Netherworld's eyes were filled with incomparable madness and ferocity. He activated the primordial pearl. In an instant, purple gas rose around his body. He wanted to break out of the wordless heavenly book's imprisonment. At this moment, the fortune jade disc also erupted with unparalleled light. It turned into a mysterious lotus and floated above Netherworld's head. 3,000 divine chains of order sprinkled down. Hee boy, you better obediently give the primordial pearl to my master. Otherwise no one can save you. A sinister voice came from the wordless heavenly book, making Netherworld's body tremble. It was the voice of the evil spirit. Ever since the evil spirit became the weapon spirit of the wordless heavenly book, it gradually refined the wordless heavenly book, and could unleash more than half of its power. The reason why it had been enduring before was because of Ling Zhao's order. Now, it finally took advantage of the opportunity when Netherworld was fighting against the two chaos treasures alone to suppress Netherworld. Rumble. In the distance, the fluctuations from the explosion of the 36 Netherworld corpses gradually dispersed, revealing the scene inside. The Netherworld corpse emperor looked tattered. There were many wounds on his body, and his aura had become somewhat weak. The flesh and blood of Ling Xiao, who had been imprisoned by him, had completely disappeared. All that was left was a purple gold skeleton that emitted an immortal glow, mysterious and unfathomable. The purple gold skeleton was surrounded by mysterious stars. The aura of Tao rose, and it seemed to have fallen into an extremely strange state. Not only did its life essence not weaken at all, it seemed to be growing stronger and stronger. Boom! An unparalleled fist imprint erupted. The purple gold fist imprinted on the Nether Corpse Emperor's chest and directly penetrated it. Slash! Ling Xiao bellowed coldly. In an instant, endless sword chi rose from the heaven-devouring sword in the distance and gathered on the heaven-devouring sword at the same time, turning into a supreme sword aura that reached the heavens and the earth, slashing down at the Nether Corpse Emperor. Boom! The Nether Corpse Emperor's body shook violently. Originally, he was already severely injured. At this moment, he was unable to resist the sharpness of the heaven-devouring sword. Black light bloomed, and the Netherworld Corpse Emperor was directly cut in half by the devouring heaven sword. Ah! Puff! How is this possible? Trapped by the wordless heavenly book, Nether trembled violently and spat out a mouthful of blood. His eyes were full of disbelief. The Nether Corpse Emperor was a corpse king that he had refined with his natal primordial spirit. Its strength was terrifying and monstrous. As the corpse of a great emperor, it was indestructible. He had never expected Ling Zhao's heaven-devouring sword to be so powerful that even the Nether Corpse Emperor could not block it. Rumble. Ling Xiao held the heaven-devouring sword in his hand. He did not even look at the Nether Corpse Emperor. His body was burning with raging flames, and a vast and majestic aura of life was surging. Bathed in flames, his eyes were indifferent and bright. It was as if he had stepped on the node of heaven and earth. A vast momentum swept across the sky. The flesh and blood on Ling Zhao's body instantly recovered to its original state. The heaven-devouring sword bloomed with unparalleled sharpness and locked onto Nether. Ling Xiao, you're so cunning. Nether stared at Ling Xiao and said coldly. His eyes were full of rising anger. Only now did he finally realize Ling Zhao's strength. Ling Xiao did not use his full strength at the beginning. He had hidden his trump cards and forced Nether into a trap step by step. The final thunderous blow destroyed all of Nether's trump cards. By the time Netherworld realized what was going on, he already had nowhere to run. Nether was a little frightened. This was the first time in several eras that he had been forced to such a state. His heart was full of unwillingness. Could it be that he was going to die here today? Nether, you can go to hell now, Ling Xiao said indifferently. The heaven-devouring sword swept across the sky, like a long rainbow. Its speed was extremely fast, and it went straight for Nether's forehead. The vast momentum suppressed Nether. The two chaos treasures bloomed with dazzling light at the same time, causing Nether's body to shake violently. It was as if his origin energy had been stripped away. Facing this sword that was like the might of heaven, he actually felt that he was no match for it. Buoxu and Wushuang, save me. Otherwise, you will die without a doubt. Nether roared. Nether flames rose around him. His violent cultivation was injected into the Hongmeng pearl. Then his entire body was swept up, and he instantly shot into the sky. His heart was filled with fear. His Dao heart was shattered, and his body was severely injured. He was no match for Ling Xiao at all. Not to mention, the Nether God corpse formation that he was so proud of had been completely destroyed. Rumble. Sword Chi rose and instantly collided with the Hongmeng pearl. There was an earth-shattering boom. Ling Xiao punched out and directly hit Nether's chest. Bloody light spread and directly penetrated Nether's body. Nether let out a miserable cry. He frantically activated the Hongmeng pearl, wanting to push Ling Xiao back. Purple Chi rose around Ling Xiao, emitting a mysterious and immortal power. It covered the Hongmeng pearl in the sky. The Hongmeng pearl trembled slightly, emitting a flickering light. It actually froze in the void in an instant. This is Hongmeng Purple Chi. How is this possible? Nether's eyes revealed a trace of disbelief as he roared. Without the protection of the Hongmeng pearl, Nether could no longer resist Ling Xiao's terrifying attack. The sky-devouring sword came across the sky and directly pierced Nether's forehead. His words came to an abrupt end, and his indestructible primordial spirit was instantly shattered. Rumble. Behind Nether, an incomparably violent aura erupted. The three Dao spirits appeared at the same time, wanting to repair Nether's physical body and suppress Ling Xiao. Break. Ling Xiao's eyes were sharp, and his voice was like thunder. He struck down with his palm, and the thunderous strike directly blasted Nether's physical body into a bloody mist. Rumble. Ling Xiao's body emitted a vast and majestic devouring fluctuation. The devouring sacred domain appeared and directly sucked Nether, and the three Dao spirits into it. Hehe, Master, I'll help you refine him. Within the wordless heavenly book, the evil spirit chuckled and instantly came across the sky, supporting the devouring sacred domain. The creation jade disc also flew across the sky, and the two chaos treasures suppressed Nether's body at the same time. Vast and majestic devouring power erupted, and began to madly absorb the power of Nether's three Dao spirits. Ling Xiao sat cross-legged in the void, and the Hongmeng pearl floated in front of him, trembling slightly as if it was attracted by the Hongmeng purple chi on Ling Xiao's body. Nether was completely suppressed by the devouring sacred domain. The aura around Ling Xiao became more and more terrifying, as if all of Nether's life origin had been integrated into his body. Swoosh. At the sight of this, Buoxu and Wushuang's pupils constricted. He decisively took on Dark Cloud Soaring Cloud and Zhao Ritian's attack head-on. Then he shifted the void and headed towards the endless void. Buoxu and Wushuang, the dignified Tribulation Lord, had actually chosen to escape. Where do you think you're going? Buoxu and Wushuang die. Zhao Ritian and Darkness Ling Xiao's eyes flashed with a cold light as they shouted and chased after Buoxu and Wushuang. Protect Ling Xiao. The old goat and Taoist Wuyang's eyes were filled with surprise and joy. They quickly flew over and protected Ling Xiao. They had never thought that Nether would be suppressed by Ling Xiao just like that. As Ling Xiao's aura grew stronger, they knew that Nether was most likely doomed. It would not be long before he was completely wiped out. What? The remaining followers of the Netherworld were all frightened out of their wits when they saw this scene. Their eyes were filled with incomparable fear. Lord Nether did not even have the chance to escape, and was directly suppressed by Ling Xiao? They no longer had any fighting spirit in their hearts, and they immediately teleported into the distance. Swoosh. A blazing sword light, as if breaking through the chaos, turned into eternity in an instant, and enveloped the followers. A few screams were heard, and they instantly exploded into a bloody mist in the void. Even their indestructible primordial spirits were completely reduced to nothingness. Duguchiobai descended from the sky, and the vast and terrifying sword essence slowly retracted. His face was calm and indifferent. The 3 robbers and more than a dozen followers of Netherworld had all died in his hands. Senior Dugu is getting stronger. The white dragon horse praised. The strongest is still my brother Ling Xiao. Even Nether had died in his hands. Sakura, Hong Tian, and Tathagata are definitely not Ling Xiao's match. Kuimping's eyes were filled with excitement. We have found the yin-yang creation fruit, god-burying flower, and immortal emperor grass. I will now refine the yin-yang creation pill. Once our cultivation has broken through to the 9th heaven of the imperial emperor realm, we will meet the 3 supreme talents and fight for the opportunity to become emperors. Taoist Wuliang smiled faintly, and there was a hint of anticipation in his eyes. They were all supreme talents, and they had a strong foundation. Once they broke through to the 9th heaven of the imperial emperor realm, they would become peerless imperial emperors. Their strength would increase tremendously, and they would be Ling Xiao's greatest help. These are the indestructible primordial spirits of the 3 tribulation lords. Their true spirits have been wiped away, and they contain the origin Dao fruits that they had refined. They can be used to increase Ling Xiao's cultivation. Yi Liangchen said excitedly, and he sent the 3 balls of light into Ling Xiao's body. The devouring sacred boundary around Ling Xiao rose, and it contained the supreme power to devour the heavens and the earth. The 3 balls of light were easily swallowed into Ling Xiao's body. I hope Zhao Ritian and the demon lord can kill Buoxuan Wushuang. He is a tribulation lord, and he must have many origin Dao fruits in his body. They are very important to Ling Xiao. The old mountain goat's eyes were filled with anticipation. Taoist Wuliang started to refine the yin-yang creation pill, while the old mountain goat and the others stood guard for Ling Xiao, waiting for him to refine Nether completely. Darkness Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian chased after Buoxuan Wushuang, and they charged into the depths of the realm of nothingness. Buoxuan Wushuang's speed was extremely fast, as if he could become one with the void. Darkness Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian could not catch up with him. Moreover, the distance between them was increasing. Damn it, are we going to let him escape just like that? Zhao Ritian's eyes were filled with unwillingness. Don't worry, he won't be able to escape. Even if he escapes now, he will definitely appear when the opportunity to become an emperor appears. We will kill him then. Darkness Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a trace of darkness as he spoke. The 2 of them were ready to give up. Buoxuan Wushuang was not only powerful, but he was also extremely fast. It was as if he could mobilize the power of the void, and they could not catch up with him. If they continued to chase him, they would not be able to kill him. Ling Xiao, just you wait. I believe Sakura, Hong Tian, and Rulai will be interested in the wordless heavenly book, Fortune Jade Disc, and Hongming Pearl. Buoxuan Wushuang's eyes were cold as he thought to himself. Ling Xiao's strength had exceeded his expectations. Even Yu Ming had been defeated by him, and there was no chance for him to escape. The stronger Ling Xiao was, the stronger the killing intent in his heart. He was already prepared to contact Sakura, Hong Tian, and Rulai to kill Ling Xiao. Rumble. However, at this moment, a green lotus appeared in the boundless void. The green lotus was surrounded by endless chaotic light, and it looked ancient and mysterious. 36 petals bloomed, and there were thousands of auspicious lights. It was as if it could shatter the heavens and earth. On the green lotus, a young figure was sitting with his legs crossed. He looked divine and extraordinary. As he opened and closed his eyes, it was as if there was a mysterious scene of stars and chaos. The chaotic green lotus pressed down on Buoxuan Wushuang mightily. Streaks of auspicious qi fell like divine chains, piercing through the heavens and earth and forming a huge prison, trapping Buoxuan Wushuang in the middle. Who are you? Buoxuan Wushuang roared, and his eyes were filled with shock. The aura of the figure was so strong that it was beyond his imagination, especially the chaotic green lotus. It gave him a feeling that he could not go against it. It's Emperor Qing. Darkness Lingxiao and Zhao Ritian trembled, and a name appeared in their minds at the same time. It was the mysterious genius Emperor Qing that they had met in the War God Plain. Who would have thought that he would actually appear here and become so powerful? Emperor Qing did not say a word, and directly attacked Buxiu and Wu Shuang. Good chance. Kill him. Darkness Lingxiao and Zhao Ritian's eyes were filled with fighting spirit. In an instant, they executed powerful attacks and charged towards Buxiu and Wu Shuang. Under the suppression of the chaotic green lotus, Buxiu and Wu Shuang was trapped in that space, unable to escape. He could only passively defend against Darkness Lingxiao and Zhao Ritian's attacks. Rumble. 2 blazing rays of light shot out from Emperor Qing's eyes. It was like a vast heavenly river, sweeping across the heavens and earth. In an instant, it enveloped Buxiu and Wu Shuang. Emperor Qing slammed his palm down, and the chaotic green lotus exuded an unparalleled divine aura. It was like an immemorial sacred mountain, and directly suppressed Buxiu and Wu Shuang. Immediately after, Darkness Lingxiao and Zhao Ritian arrived, and their unparalleled attacks drowned Buxiu and Wu Shuang. The 3 supreme experts launched a fatal attack on Buxiu and Wu Shuang. Third sect leader. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.